Okay,
Yeah,
I
my
think
niece
I'm streaming
recently
currently.
downloaded Subnautica 2
Heard about
on
this.
my computer. So now I can play Subnautica 2 because her
Oh.
computer, her laptop wouldn't hold. And I'm like, should I stream it or will I just get so scared anyway? No one's gonna enjoy it. I won't enjoy it.
Hmm.
Like I'm weird because I hate and I on my poor camera, I hate the ocean, not as bad as Ellie,
Okay.
but I
Mm.
hate the ocean.
Not full on thalassophobia,
But
but not great.
Hmm.
yeah, it's to me, it's more like if I can't see what's going on, like
Mm.
the fear of like things coming up out underneath me and stuff.
Mm.
But Subnautica doesn't do that to me. Like it's just like
Mm.
pretty
Interesting.
underwater
Hmm.
fantasy world
Huh.
where I
Interesting,
can
because the
survive. Now
depth
I'm
is kind of like that.
yeah. Now I have a feeling once I go into the deep sections, I'll
Yeah.
just cry.
Mm.
Um, but yeah, I've watched people play it and stuff before because it's quite interesting. It's very beautiful, but
Mm.
I think it's a really cool game. I don't know. I need to delve into it further to see what all people have been dealing with the most recent game, because it feels like there's just a lot of trauma and drama around the early access for Subnautica 2.
Fair.
Where it's
which
like,
is
what is
really
even
weird because
going
I've
on
watched
here?
my niece and other people play it and it's fine. I feel like
I know. I don't know
it's
what's
yeah,
going on.
okay. I don't know what people are going crazy about. I'm just like, it's fine.
I don't know.
It's early
Well,
access. What were you expecting? There's
Yeah.
nothing
I
crazy.
think some
yeah.
people just have really bad luck because, like, I played Cyberpunk on PC like
Hmm.
Hmm.
2 months
When it
after it
came
came
out.
out.
Oh,
About
jeez.
two
Hmm.
months. I had 2 glitches the entire time. And like,
So,
meanwhile, I'm seeing
uh,
YouTube videos of people like driving through walls and like glitching out of everything, and they'll just be walking along and just die for no
Oh
reason, and
no.
like
oh
die and
god.
like can't bring the character back. This is gone. You have to
Oh,
restart the
jeez.
game. And I was
Oh
like,
wow.
so I was
So
ready for that, and then I played it, and I was like, this is fine. I don't know what people are
So I
talking
have
about.
my story of how bad it was, but I should also preface I played on launch, the day it
Oh
came
God,
out,
Mm.
yeah, I didn't do
prior
that.
to even first patches, because I really wanted to
Wow.
play the game.
Mm. It's a
And
good
I just
game.
happened to also like when it after it got delayed, it happened to come out when I went on vacation. So I was just on a
Just ready to
staycation
go.
and I could just go and play it. And so I
Mm.
played it when it came out.
Mhm.
And I had some really interesting bugs that I got to experience. Again, most of those were patched out later.
Mm.
I had the ubiquitous floating palm trees issue that a lot of people had. That was a fun ride at the beginning of the game. You start off the game and you're going to one of the bars and you get into this flying car in order to go and meet with some people. And I was just having floating palm trees everywhere. And it was very interesting being in a flying car and like distant floating palm trees are just available for me to see.
It's like being in Dishonored, and there's just whales floating off in the
It
sky.
just it's kind of how it felt. And they were entirely like it's not like it made any sense they were there. It was they had rendered as if I was standing next to them, so they were just perfect immaculate copies
Very high
of
quality.
very high res palm trees in the middle of
The
like this.
highest glossy JPEGs.
It was so weird.
Wow.
I found it really hilarious to be honest, because it just made no sense.
Sounds very
So that was
strange.
that glitch, and that was the lowest thing because everyone I knew that was playing it kind of at the time, everyone was kind of experiencing that.
Mm.
A
Mhm.
secondary glitch I got was not until you kind of started progressing a little bit further into the game, and I mean very little bit further. I hadn't gone very far. I had made it kind of just past the intro where you're just starting to get into the actual plot line of what's happening in the game.
Mhm.
And you go to a diner is what you're supposed to do to talk to one of the characters. I'm being very vague in case someone just
Which is
actually
very
wants to
kind of
play
you.
and has no idea.
Mhm.
And I step out of the character's apartment and you go down a huge elevator. And by the time I got to the bottom of the elevator, the textures all started to look a little weird.
Okay.
And I mean the textures, like every single
Everything.
texture.
Mhm.
Wow.
Every
just
texture.
a little odd. Like the texture that was supposed to be there got replaced by another texture, but it was all the same models.
What the fuck?
And I kept going to the point where I got to the diner, and as I'm walking down the street from the apartment block that your character's in, like there's distant smoke that should be rising from buildings, but it was replaced by like advertisement textures on instead.
What the fuck?
It
Just
was
slowly drifting into the sky.
just slowly drifting on top of where they were
That's
supposed to be. Like
amazing.
That's a
buildings
true
were all in
dystopian nightmare.
Seriously? Fires are
buildings
just
were all in,
ads
like,
now.
weird designs. Again, you could make out the visual
How?
of what it was supposed to be, but like
But it
every
just
texture
wasn't
was
that.
different.
Wow.
And
Oh,
I got to
man.
the diner, started having the conversation with the NPC that's there, and like his face is this like weird amorphous texture block. It just kept going, and I got
Lord.
done with that conversation. I'm like, I feel like this was not how this was supposed to
Something's
go.
gone wrong here.
Something has gone terribly
Turns
wrong.
out B was
Now,
just on a
mind you,
really bad drug trip.
that is really what it felt
Yeah.
like. I was like, have I been drugged? I mean, it kind of makes sense at this point in the game, but
Yeah,
wow,
definitely.
I'm so confused.
Oh my
Yeah,
god.
so that was a massive
Jared,
glitch.
turn your immersion down. You're in it too far.
Yeah, there's
That
an
immersion
immersion
center way too
slider. You
far.
just had to find it and turn it down a little bit.
Yeah.
No, I wanted it on full display. You never know what's going to happen. This is supposed to be a very realistic
Oh
game.
my god.
So
There's a slider
yeah,
that's
that
just
went
called
on
"This is
for
your brain on meth," and that's.
it just kept going, and eventually I got to the point where I was like, this is not right. There's something
Yeah,
horrendously
yeah.
wrong happening here. And I was like, okay, I'm just gonna restart the game.
Fair.
I fortunately it didn't corrupt anything. I was able to start from a earlier save, and it was fine. It never happened again.
That's nice.
But it was like easily 30 to 40 minutes of me just staring at the most trippy visuals on screen, trying to progress the story, just being like, something feels wrong here.
Yeah, that's just reality is like a little off.
It's a little off. So yeah, that was my experience. Beyond that, loved the game. It was a lot of fun. I'm a huge fan of Cyberpunk.
good
I like
game.
the DLC a lot, and I
DLC
understand
is really
people having their hate for it, especially if they first started off and had the glitches at the beginning.
Yeah.
But can confirm it does get better.
Yeah, and if you have exactly the right setup, you can get like no glitches. Like
Yeah, apparently.
I had one where I was driving a car and I went to pull off and like the road just disappeared, so I just kind of went through the map and just started falling straight down. And then I had another one where they were both cars where I got out of a car and instead of just exiting the car, I like flew like 400 feet forward. And like ragdolled and jumped across, like smashed into several cars and into a building, and then I was like inside some building or something. I think it was the outdoor market. I was just there, and I was like,
yeah,
"Am I okay?"
still alive. Everything's fine.
And those are the only two glitches I ever had.
Okay, yeah, I had a couple with motorcycles early on. There were some issues with if you were driving a motorcycle in uneven terrain, which when you get out of the town area, it's really bad.
Uneven
It's
terrain.
all uneven terrain.
It's all the terrain.
And I was driving and trying to do one of the Delamain quests, which are taxis in the storyline. And there's one that you have to go and track down. Not going to explain why you have to track down these taxis. And it's in this like junkyard area, really far off into this like very, very gross part of the map. And I drove a little too close to the junk, and my motorcycle decided that it was time to eject me.
Fun.
And it ejected me instead of forward or anything, directly into the ground. And so I was just stuck there.
You are at the junk now.
I could not move. And so I
sonar
was like, this is my
charges.
life. And I just kind of was like, cool, I think I have to restart. So I had to restart the game because I literally could not move. That was something they did patch out pretty early because I saw the patch note for that specific
For that
thing.
one.
But I was like, good to know. That was not supposed to happen. Didn't think so, but
Cool.
Yeah.
Um,
I again love the game. It's just
Yeah,
Scott
very
things.
good game. So we should probably talk about Star Wars. Just like we don't have to, but we probably should.
Okay.
As advertised. I can just change the name of the
That's
stream
valid.
to "We Talk About Video Games," if you want.
Because we absolutely could. Well, we can
could.
start with Star Wars and see where it goes.
Yeah, we'll meander. So,
Exactly.
if anyone has staggered in accidentally, last three streams, we did character creation in Star Wars REUP, which is a Star Wars D6 system. More detailed earlier. I don't want to go over this too much, but made characters, did one session. Characters were a hit.
They were amazing.
And so we did another session, and the original characters are the only ones who survived that session. Again, both of those are on YouTube. So this is kind of the debrief of like
they did it.
What? Oh.
I said we don't know how, but they did it.
Yeah, no.
Yep.
They should not have survived.
The storm has begun.
The storm is upon us.
I knew.
So yeah, this is basically just a breakdown of like what we liked about the system, what we didn't like about the system, general thoughts, that sort of thing. There's not a me that has opinions about this like I did about D&D, so maybe this will be a shorter one. I don't know. We'll kind of see. So, I guess to start out with, any like kind of overarching, because we'll get into like character creation and mechanics and combat and damage and all that sort of stuff, but to start with, any like surface level, just initial thoughts that either of y'all have.
I mean, I have one really big one, which I'm sure we'll get to, but I guess I will just start off with it, which is I dislike, and this is just generally for all games, I dislike games that in mechanics they built in morality.
Fair.
And that's something that reading through a lot of the like Jedi and Force sections I noticed was like, wow, there's a lot of you are only the good Jedi and you're fighting against the evil bad people.
Yeah.
You are the perfect sparkly ones. And if you do anything wrong, however, you're also evil.
Yeah.
Just by the way, you're evil, you're terrible, you're the worst non-human being ever existing. But as long as you're a Jedi, you have to be the most pristine person imaginable. And I was like, wow, not sure I like this.
Not a lot of nuance there.
Yeah.
And like just to verify, like I wasn't misreading it. I even reread it earlier today just to like make sure I wasn't missing that. And I was like, no, it's very explicit that it's like you're a Jedi, you fight against the evil ones.
Yes.
And the evil people are evil. They're all evil. They're all deserve death, but you need to do it in the right way, just so you don't get evil points. And as long as you don't, you're a perfect, pristine person. Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
You're beautiful.
You can kill them, just don't get evil points.
Just don't exactly.
It was interesting the first time I read that book and realized that according to this book, in the beginning of A New Hope, Obi-Wan mind tricking a stormtrooper was an evil thing to do.
Yes.
Like that's something bad people do. He got dark side points for doing that. Which makes no sense.
Good, so it's fine.
Yeah, it's like you get one or two.
We all know he's the ultimate villain.
Yes,
for sure.
Yeah,
He's so evil.
And like trying to play a Sith in this system would not work. Like you just couldn't really do it. Because there's supposed to be a consequence, and you'd have like 500 dark side points by the time you got done.
And like, and reading through it, I was like, okay, they give some options for, let's say you want to play your Sith style character. This system, if you actually read through a lot of what are the consequences for being evil, are really horrendous.
Oh yeah.
Like they basically took the notion of like, oh, you start looking bad and people don't like you and you're mean and everything to the extreme, and they're like, you got blinded. You start to decrepitly like
skin falls off.
You gain parasites.
Yeah.
Like they
no hot evil people allowed.
This was
no Darth Maul
no
fan service allowed in this game. Only everyone looks terrible.
Very much the kind of older, and KOTOR does this a bit too. The idea that like the dark side literally rots you, and like because like in the original trilogy, Palpatine's all gray and icky. Vader's all gray and icky, and everybody just kind of assumed it was because they were of the dark side, and it wasn't till like Revenge of the Sith that there was some explanation given for why they look the way they look. So the game definitely reflects that kind of earlier mindset of if you're evil, you just start falling apart. And you get really powerful, but you start falling apart.
Like, is interesting. Though when you read some more of it, you're like, oh yeah, you get these bad things, but it delays itself if you keep getting more dark side points. I was like, so what you're telling me is you don't want an evil character to redeem themselves, but they give a whole set of chapters about like, but what if a player wanted to?
Yeah.
It's like, oh, but you're just gonna look like a corpse and then die.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
No, once you go evil, you gotta keep going.
Yeah, you gotta get more evil.
There's
That's the only way
not
to
really
stay alive.
another option. And I was like, wow, I'm not really seeing the appeal here, actually.
Fair. That's fair.
So that was a big thing for me when I was reading through it. I was just like, I just don't feel like there's a lot of sense being made here for why you would not play a Jedi and why you wouldn't play a perfectly pristine, beautiful angel Jedi. Because the game kind of wants you to do that.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was a
Very
big
much
thing that
so.
I noticed. And I like it you could feel it a little bit as well. But like reading through the book, it was one of those where it's like, I just don't like this morality system.
Yeah.
And it also, like, lore-wise, kind of sucks because you're like, we're in one version of Jedi, where it's only the perfectly pristine, most beautiful, amazing Jedi are the best things that ever existed.
Yes,
Why would
of
you not
course,
want to
yeah.
believe that they're the best things?
Yeah. Didn't come up much because of just who y'all decided to play.
Yes.
And like given the characters y'all went with, I was like, okay, this is very much like we're gonna see Jedi, but they're gonna be from like the Mando perspective. Like these guys are the enemy.
Yeah.
So like didn't really come up much for us, but I have done some very long form, like 5+ years Star Wars games. And you can kind of finagle it.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, rules is written. It's like I think rules is written once you get 6 dark side points, you're an NPC.
It's 6, yeah.
Like,
You're an NPC.
So you
Which
do
also
6 evil acts. And evil, mind you, evil being you mind trick someone. You know?
Yeah.
It's
even stuff
like
in like the
6
movies
times.
where it was fine.
Yeah.
They're like,
Yeah.
no, that's just evil. You're just
I mean,
you're done.
Yeah,
You're
if you
done
went
here.
by those rules in the movies, everyone's a Sith now.
Exactly.
Everyone's a
Yeah.
dark side
I
NPC.
think even using like combat sense or danger sense or lightsaber combat, like the force powers that make Jedi really good at fighting, I think just using it to like attack someone that hasn't attacked you first gives you a dark side point.
Yeah, it's very much like,
And, like-
in this like stoic monk sense of like, I can only harm people that have harmed me.
Very black
Everything
and
I have
white.
to do is in the protection of other people. Protecting life is the most prime requirement, and it's like I can understand that. I mean, but it feels a little rigid from a D&D sort of perspective, where it's like this is like how people talk about paladins and monks in earlier editions of D&D.
Fair.
So that's my I'd say largest gripe with the system. And again, in terms of everything, I'm not sure if I can really say it. I actually like the system. I just that's one thing that I have an issue with in general in every system. And I will say every because it's really common in a lot of game systems to have a morality system that exists. Pathfinder has it. D&D has it, both 5th edition and 3.5 and earlier editions. Most commonly, if you're playing a character that develops like lycanthropy is really common in those editions. They very specifically says like, oh, you become an NPC under the DM's control, which is like, yeah, but I like my character. Can't I do something? Why can't I continue playing my weirdly lycanthropy stylized character?
Why can't I? Exactly, like, no, this adds more story.
Yeah, like there's so many stories about characters trying to fight that sort of nature, and the game goes, no, you just can't do that.
Yeah.
No, you can't. You can't.
That's not for you.
You can't do that, you're evil. This isn't your character anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's like, look, it's fine. That's okay. Again, as a DM, you can work your way around it. It's not a big deal. But the fact that rules is written, there are just things I'm like, kind of
Yeah,
annoying.
I do feel like some games try
Yeah.
and like sort of stave off murder hobos in a
Hmm.
way that like is supposed to just kind of mechanically make it so that like if the players start doing that, you as a GM can just go, you don't get to play this character if you play them like
Yeah.
this. Like if you
Yeah.
keep
Yeah.
doing this, like
Yeah.
you get
Yeah.
in Star Wars specifically, you get 6 chances. And once you've done those 6 things,
Hmm.
this is not a playable
You're
character
done.
anymore.
Yeah.
You know, and like I don't know, I'm just like
Yeah.
on the one hand, if you have players that want to do that and you want to do that, like if you're a GM that likes running that kind of game, great, cool,
To play
fantastic.
that game.
That works out
Yeah.
perfect.
If you don't, then those players are not for you.
Exactly.
And tell them to go
Yeah.
find people that do want to do that. You know?
Someone that
Completely agree.
exactly. I
Yep,
think
100%.
the other Star Wars system also does something similar
Mm.
that my brother's
Is
is
this
running. And
Edge of
we
Empire?
were talking.
Sorry,
It might be.
I think that's the main other one.
And we were
Mm.
Yeah, and we were just talking about how these systems, like a lot of these game systems, they build in that, like, the rules to make sure that you don't play someone who's going to either
Mhm.
min-max themselves to godhood
Mhm.
or murder everyone else. And you're like, to the detriment of everyone else who wants to actually just play a really cool fucking character
Yeah,
and play a
exactly.
story. Which is unfortunate that they have to do that because it does definitely put a damper,
Yeah,
I
it
think,
gets
on a lot of
in the way.
storytelling stuff.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I don't know. For me, it's obviously the mix. Like I completely understand that. I understand where they're coming from as well on
Mm.
it, because
Mhm.
like you have to have something, especially for like Jedi versus Sith.
Yeah.
Like the whole point of
Yeah.
a lot of the classic movies is there is this balance that you're fighting with between the
Mhm.
power that you have and the temptation that power gives you.
Mhm.
And you know,
Yeah.
as a player, that's also kind of true because the Jedi powers are pretty good.
Oh yeah, they're amazing.
Mhm.
But at the same time, it really dictates play style as well,
Mm.
beyond,
Mhm.
you know, again, it can mitigate the bad behaviors, but it's also telling players what they have to do to play the
Yeah.
character.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Which is
I
less
don't
fun.
know, as it's less
Like
fun,
it's
yeah.
telling them this is the only way you can play a good person.
Yeah.
And
Exactly.
it's like,
Yeah.
ooh, that's not true.
Or at least
Yeah.
play a Jedi.
Let's not do
Like
that.
if you're gonna be a
Yeah.
Jedi, you have to be this kind of
Exactly.
Jedi. And
Yeah.
in the long
And
form game, I had to like make rules to be a great Jedi. Like
Mhm.
my player
Yeah, and
wanted to be that, and I was like, okay,
the
well we'll figure it out.
Mhm.
yeah. I mean, they're a thing. You should
Yeah.
be able to do
Yeah.
and I feel like part of it with this game too is power structure wise. If you're gonna be playing one where you're gonna have to fight, it kind of wants you to be a Jedi.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like Witcher. Like you
Very
have to
much.
have a Jedi in this game,
Yes.
or you're kind of
Yeah.
gonna get your ass handed
Like
to you.
as we saw.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, it was it doesn't matter how powerful we made.
Yep.
Like I got hit once and I'm dead.
Yeah.
Which that is one thing that I felt
Jeez.
didn't like as much with the system
Mm.
was the
Mhm.
combat stuff
Fair.
for sure.
Fair.
Just because it very much felt like every character was like weak compared to a Jedi. Like there's
Mm.
nothing you could do against them.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Which did make it, and it's like, this is a Mandalorian who's killed Jedi before,
Mhm.
you know. They should be able to take more than one hit without
Yeah.
suddenly being
Yeah.
down, you
Mm.
know. I felt like that part of the system was just a little wonky, but I feel like in general as a storytelling system, I liked the way all the mechanics and stuff worked there.
Mm.
Yep.
It was very much just, I think, the combat part of it.
That's fair. And we'll get more
yeah.
into
Which,
detail
if you're
about
not going to be
combat.
doing a whole bunch of combat,
Why are you in Star Wars?
then you don't know.
Go
Yeah.
play Star Trek if you don't want to do combat.
Yeah,
Like,
at that point.
what are you doing?
Just go explore
Again,
the universe. Go
Yeah,
away.
exactly.
As a combat system, it was a lot of fun. Just
Fair.
in general.
It was fun.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I do think it makes lightsabers feel like lightsabers. And it's one of
Yes.
the one systems I've
Mhm.
ever seen. Hey, baby. That ever like makes lightsabers feel
Mhm.
as deadly as they should. Like,
Yeah, for sure.
They are terrifying.
it definitely
Can
does.
confirm.
I feel like it just doesn't make the other things that have been made in game to go against lightsabers
fair.
well enough to.
and like I said, well, when we get to the combat section, there are some things that I did, like especially that last fight in the second session. I was
Mhm.
doing essentially the equivalent of like legendary actions. And like,
Right.
you know, give this
But
it was
it's
it was a
fun
boss
because
fight.
they're
You
terrifying.
know? Yeah, like the point of that was, you know, in the
Yeah.
game, in the rules
We
for
weren't making
making
it out of that
no,
situation.
no.
Oh yeah, no.
In the rules for making NPC, it specifically says you should probably only ever give NPCs like 3 character points and like a force point,
Mhm.
unless they're like major
Yeah.
boss
Because they're
fights.
terrifying.
And
Yeah.
it was a major
Yeah.
boss fight, so
Oh yeah, for
no
the story
baby.
we were playing, completely
Mhm.
understandable.
Yeah.
100%.
You can't
We
get on my
weren't getting
desk.
out of there.
Yeah, she's being a mess.
She wants to. Goblin says yes, let me.
The problem is she walks on my keyboard, and genuinely there is now a thing up in the corner of my screen that has my FPS, my GPU usage, my CPU usage, and I can't turn it off because I don't know how I turn it on.
Oh, no,
Wasn't
Like,
on before
Goblin.
she did
all
this.
the
No,
correct
baby.
keys for everything.
Yeah, I'm just like, I don't know what you did, but she's very skilled.
Oh, so
Yeah,
cute.
baby. Hey, baby.
You're so cute.
Cool.
She's
So
like, I just want
that's
ovens.
overall thoughts. Unless then you had something else.
Nope, that was it.
Initial
It was really
reactions.
fun.
Okay.
Cool.
Yeah. I'm glad we
Um,
both felt it was fun because that's the part that
Yeah,
matters.
yeah,
Oh yeah,
exactly.
I had lots of fun. Yeah.
And I mean, every system is what's the system with the flaws you can handle? Because every system has issues.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Some
Yeah.
are just worse than
I have a
others.
feeling once we start getting into the games that we haven't played but we've wanted to try and play,
Mhm.
we're gonna start seeing a lot more of us being like,
Oh,
okay,
yeah.
never mind this.
Yeah.
This system.
Yeah.
We played it once, we're good now.
I've decided the 3 games that I want to run for y'all, and they're all so bonkers. Like,
I'm all for bonkers because
Yeah.
I like seeing.
Mhm.
And again, a lot of this is like my personal structure of. Again, for those that might catch this at some later point, we have a massive 2 shelves of
Yeah.
just gaming books in my house.
it's
And
a
that
lot.
is It's a lot. It also has minis because we collect a lot of minis as well that we have not painted because we're terrible at it. Though we probably could because Aaron's very skilled. But we did not make those minis and they're very good.
Yeah.
But we have game systems worth of books that I have, some of which I played, some of which I have not.
Mm.
And a lot of it is just from the desire of understanding what do they do in this game system to see if I like any of the mechanics and I want to steal any of them.
Exactly.
So that's what I love is just like reading through a game book and being like, oh, that's interesting that they do it this way.
There's
That's
always
a really
like
fun
one
mechanic.
thing that you
I'm
can
gonna
be
take
like,
that now.
exactly. It's like one thing in every
Mhm.
system that you're like, that I've never seen that done before. I really like that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just gonna keep that.
Yeah.
I'm gonna keep it.
And
Yeah,
by the
I'm,
end, I
I'm
will
just gonna take that one.
Frankenstein my perfect game.
Exactly.
Mhm.
I mean, that's like, again, I think that's what every DM does to some
Yeah.
extent when you've been doing it for
Exactly.
a while.
Oh, for sure.
Like, even if you only ever do one game, you'll find like a module that introduces a mechanic that you haven't seen
Mhm.
before, and you're
That
like,
you
cool, I love
really-
that.
yeah.
Keeping that forever.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
Yep.
So, character creation. How did y'all feel about like how that was organized, how it was set up? Was it easy to understand? Was it easy to do?
Mhm.
I know Cinn, you like made an alien using the character creation system, which I don't
Yeah,
think.
we made one, which was a lot simpler than I thought it was going to be.
Cool. Good.
Which was nice. I think once you understand it, like once my head figured out what the pips were,
Yeah,
Mhm.
that's
it was
That's the
all
thing.
uphill
once you get over
from
that
here.
hurdle, you're fine.
Yeah, I will say the book does a really terrible job of explaining the pip system.
Yeah.
Wow.
It
I
is
think
its
if
own
you
worst
hadn't
enemy
been
on that.
explaining it,
Fair.
Mhm.
That's fair. There are
Yeah.
some games you need someone who's played the game before.
Yeah.
to
And I'm
explain.
not saying it was terrible, but
Mm.
having gone back through that second time to just make a Mando on my own, I was like,
Mhm.
okay, I'm glad I know what the pip system is now because reading this, I am lost. I'm not sure what you're trying
Yeah.
to explain to me.
Mhm.
This on its own text-wise is not doing a good job of explaining it.
Fair.
Exactly. Mhm.
I think it does a good job of
So-
like describing the main mechanics.
Yes.
And I really like, and I wish more games would do this. I really like the way the first part of the book is here's a little adventure, just
Mhm.
play it, like, and then
Mhm.
you kind of get an
Yeah.
idea of how it's supposed to work. But character creation stuff, it's just like, what, huh? Do what? I remember the first time I figured that out. I'd been running the game for like 2 months, and I went, "Oh, we made this character totally wrong. We need to redo all of this."
Whoops.
Again, like on its surface, it's not even that bad. It's just the book does not do a great job of explaining itself. And I'm like, look, not every book is great.
Yeah.
This one just happened to have the cardinal sin of like, it's trying to explain a kind of complex system, and it just doesn't really do it great.
Yeah. And character creation is, you have to get that right. Like,
yes.
Character creation and the rules themselves, like World of Darkness, we've talked about loads how some of the rules of the specific powers make no sense. Like, we've had to completely rebuild them from scratch just by going, okay, this is what I think this is supposed to do, but the rules make no sense. And
it also doesn't help. World of Darkness likes to be very verbose about things, and then you read the actual mechanics, and you're like, did two people write this? Because these are not the same. This does not do what you think it does.
Someone wrote the first half. Yeah.
And then somebody tried to make it make sense in the second half. But like, if you can't get just the basic, like the very, very basic rules of roll X to do Y and character creation, you kind of failed. So, hey baby.
Yep.
Yeah.
You okay?
It could be worse. But I will say, in general,
oh yeah,
playing with the alien races that existed was fun. Reading through it, you get a lot of really good Star Wars lore. It's also really nice. Like, it does a good job with the lore and the background and the characters, and that part was a lot of fun. Especially being someone who just doesn't have as much background knowledge for Star Wars. It was kind of fun to just kind of read through and be like, oh, okay, that's kind of cool.
Be like, oh, that's interesting. Yeah.
So another question I had specifically for character creation was, because you played a human and Marilucan.
Mariluca, yeah.
And then you played an Ansel and I forget what it was called. A big pale boy.
Oh man. Yeah, I played a big pale boy.
A big pale boy.
It was an offshoot of another.
Yeah, it was I think near human is what the technical term is in Star Wars.
He's a near human.
Yeah,
he was a genetically modified near human thing. Yeah.
So beyond like roleplay stuff, because I do my best to like narrate aliens different, or differently, I guess. But apart from that, did they mechanically feel different? Like, since y'all got to play two different aliens or two different species, did it feel different? Okay, cool. That makes sense. I feel like it'd be bigger for you.
Also, neither of them.
Yes.
Yeah, I feel like neither of mine had really force abilities. So I think that made it so that they definitely felt a lot different than playing two characters who were vaguely force sensitive. Might not have felt as different.
What do you mean? I didn't do that. I only had two vaguely force-sensitive characters.
You had one character who was so force-sensitive you spoiled the entire game. And then another one who could see through walls. So,
yeah. Which was a great choice to have
very
on this
helpful.
Mission.
Yeah, the amount of times that I'd be like, yeah, you can't. Oh, no, you can see this, actually.
Just like, yeah,
we just revealed this entire room
right there, just like, right over there. Yeah, just murder them. We're good. Yeah, we're good.
You gotta watch for the blind girl. She can see everything.
It's obviously flavor text with how they wrote it, and I think your interpretation of basically making it the Jedi power was perfectly fine.
Yeah, that's
I mean, it would probably suck for their entire species that they can only see like 50 feet ahead
of
them.
Yeah. I mean, that's why Nihilus ate their planet. Spoilers, but
yeah, it's fine.
That's why their planet got nommed in KOTOR too. So.
Oh well.
I make horrified faces if I haven't played that game.
Yeah, no, I'm sorry. I know you're not familiar with this game.
How could you do that to me?
I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. You should play it sometime. It's good.
But
it's a good game.
I will say it. Jedi powers are really interesting. Again, being the one that played a character that had all the 3 million Jedi powers, it definitely made character creation a pain.
Yes. It's definitely the TV trope thing of warriors are... What's the TV trope thing? It's warriors are linear, wizards are quadratic.
Yeah.
It's 100% that, of like what all you have to do to make a
Mm-hmm.
character. With a warrior, you're like, you get a few pluses to your smack, and then with a Jedi,
you're
you're like,
fine. You're good.
Yeah.
yeah, every pip you put in this, you get a new power, and most of them require other powers.
Mhm.
So fun, have
And
fun.
I was spending so much time just going, okay, which powers do I already have?
Yep.
Okay, have I met the prerequisites for all the other things that I need to have for this? I don't even know.
When I was running this regularly, because I ran a year-long Star Wars game.
Mm-hmm.
Are you okay? Do you need help? Okay. Here come my
Just wants
headphones.
to be with everyone. Wants to feel the vibrations of the
There we go.
microphone.
I don't know why she wants to be over here. I made a chart, and I wish I could remember where I found it because it would have made things a lot easier, of like all the powers that didn't need any other powers,
Mm,
and then
That would-
just
that
kind of
would be-
built up from there.
Mhm.
Goblin, what are you doing?
Yeah.
Don't eat the back of my shirt, please.
but it's delicious.
I want to be a scarf.
Yeah, your little scarf.
That's so cute.
Little face.
But yeah, no, making Jedi is exhausting.
And reading the powers is cool. It's exactly what you'd expect.
Yeah.
You know, if you know the movies, you're like, cool. Yeah, I know these.
Cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
And if you don't know the movies, you're like, cool. I can imagine what this does for the most part.
There are
Yeah.
some
Some of them are
things
a little confusing.
that I'm like, why are they like, why is telekinesis and force push two different things? Like,
yeah,
that's what that is. Do you need to get down? You want to get down, baby?
Yeah.
There you go. Okay. She's
Yeah,
gonna-
some of them are a little weird, but in general, it's fine.
Fair.
I don't know. I thought it was fun playing a character that had powers because why wouldn't you? It's Star Wars.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
fun.
Again, it's like not having a Witcher in Witcher. Like you need that.
Yeah.
You can't. Yeah.
So.
You can. You're
can't.
just not
Just-
playing the
Yeah.
same game. You're gonna go play a farming sim.
Exactly.
We tried so hard.
You're gonna play a very different game,
We tried.
and the threat levels are gonna be so weird because the game's assuming there's at least one Jedi, which is weird because like the default of the game, because the game came out back in I think the 80s or maybe even 70s, and it was set like right before A New Hope. Like every module that's come out has been before A New Hope. I think there are a few after Empire Strikes Back, but most of them are before A New Hope. And there weren't Jedi at that point. Like they weren't really a thing then. So
Yeah.
I don't know. Like I think it was literally just but I want to play that because they're like the coolest thing in Star Wars. So
I mean, it kind of makes sense.
Which is valid. I want to play the magic space
yeah.
monk.
Yeah.
Yeah. Who doesn't
who
want to
has
play Magic Space
a laser
Wizard?
sword.
I mean, if the option
Yeah.
is, relatively cool guy with a gun that you could play in almost any system ever, or, magic space monk with a laser sword, you're going to pick the magic space monk with a laser sword.
It sounds so much cooler.
Yeah.
Like that's all I can say. It's like
Yeah, it's like, okay, cool, I could shoot well, or I could crush someone's windpipe by clenching my
Exactly.
fist.
But you're going to
or
get dark
shoot
side points for
lightning
that.
from my hands. I mean, also dark side
Yeah.
points,
Also
I
But
know.
super
That's
cool.
probably why I didn't play one. It's because all
Fair.
of the flavor way I wanted to kill someone would have given me dark
Yeah, I started
Look,
doing
I
this
would've-
thing in my games where as soon as somebody like decided they were playing a force sensitive character, even before they had any training, they could have nothing in anything, I'd give them a dark side power,
Mhm.
just
Mm,
something.
so they had it.
Yeah, and just be like, okay, if you
Mhm.
ever like get in a lot of danger and are cool with taking, I think it was 4 dark side points at once, you can just use this power, and just roll like 5 dice for whatever this power is, and just as an extra, have fun with that.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah,
as
it's a
a
nice
little,
little thing
Yeah,
in there.
little treat.
little treat.
So I think
Which,
people
like-
have sort of used it, but not very much. Didn't come up very often.
Yeah, it kind of depends on how you want to play. Like some people, and this goes to people playing like D&D and Pathfinder as well. It's like you're going to play sort of an idealized version of what you think that character is going to be.
Yeah.
So if you're playing a Jedi and you're like, in my mind, I've only watched the movies and a Jedi is always this thing, then you're probably only going to play the nice, perfect, immaculate Jedi that is
Yeah.
saving the world through the power of your existence.
Yeah.
And maybe that works really well for you. I don't know. Or you play a himbo that has Jedi powers and you don't know what that means.
But you can only save them so much.
Yeah.
Because
Can't go too
once you
far.
start getting violent to try and save them, you're
Yeah.
bad.
Yeah.
If you try and kill someone that's trying to kill them, you can't do that.
You also can't get
Yeah, that's
attached
too
to
much.
the people you're trying to save. You're not allowed to like the
Yeah.
people too much.
It's a weird
they're just like,
balance
yeah,
going
you're
on
not
here.
supposed to like people, but you're supposed to care about them enough to want to save them and be a good person. And it's like, well, which do you want from me?
And
Yeah.
this is why the
What
Jedi
do
are the
you
bad
want
guys.
from me?
But that's another story.
Yeah, but then you give
And
them
this is
300
why, yeah,
points and you're like, oh my god, they can never die. They're literally
Yeah.
they
gods.
can never die. Yeah.
Yeah, the force points are they make things crazy.
Yeah, and I should say,
Yeah,
force points,
the force
super
points,
interesting.
I think are
But-
why the game kind of almost pushes you towards playing a Jedi, because
Yes.
having that force points just fucks everyone else
Oh
over.
yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
The more of those you can use, because if you have them disposable, yeah, everyone's got it once, but not if you're a Jedi.
Yep. Yeah, and that that was really
multiple,
what
it's like, wow.
decided that last fight was like
Yeah,
you had
that's what,
2, she
murdered.
had 5. So
She had 5, and she sure showed us.
well, and what I will say is I didn't realize that was how force points worked until this most recent I thought it was a roll. I thought you did one thing, which to me makes sense. To me that balances
make
out a little
sense.
better. You know, it's like it's a very finite resource. If it's literally just you really want to be really good at this one thing, you spend a force
One
point,
thing,
it doubles
yeah.
your dice pool, you're good. I didn't realize it was everything for the turn. Like
It
that
makes
is
you literally a
so
god for a turn.
broken.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's bullshit. So.
Especially when the other person doesn't know how to use their stupid points.
To be fair, it probably would have been a little more even if you'd been spending character points the way that they're supposed to be spent.
If
But
I
I
didn't
think
know
that's
how
on
to
me.
play
I
this
think
The
that's
game,
universe version of this, we're perfectly fine. We got off the
exactly.
ship
There's an alternate
immediately.
universe where
the two people that
where he
matter
knew how to
are
fight.
safe in both.
Exactly.
Yep.
Exactly.
It's
And
just
then
there
the
happens to be
two
one universe
people-
where it's fine.
Yeah. We just went to the bad timeline
Yes.
and just played through it for everybody's
For everyone's enjoyment.
entertainment.
Yes.
We're
I did
like,
that on
oh, this could
purpose.
end really too early. Let's just keep playing a little bit.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's cool.
we'll just keep
Totally.
going.
Because that's
Yeah,
how it would have
totally
ended,
fine.
genuinely, is you would have spent a couple character points to fly the ship away, and that would have been it. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, part of
I
that's
was
just
like
because we got
2
very
points away.
lucky on our guess of which room to go to.
Oh yeah.
Because if we taken
Yeah.
a right down that hallway and ended up with the Jedis, it'd be like, oh, this is the wrong place.
yeah.
We are in the wrong
Yeah.
place. We
Close
should
the
not
door
be
and
here.
turn around.
Exactly. The only reason we took out those other 2 Jedi is because we got to hit first.
Yep.
Literally it. Otherwise,
Yeah.
this would have gone very
Yeah.
different.
Jedi in the Star Wars REUP game are very much the Batman with planning arguments or prep time argument of like if you
Yeah.
hit them, or like mages in World of Darkness, if you're familiar with how they
Yep.
work, it's very like if you surprise them, they don't wear armor. Half of their stuff they have to have a turn to put up. Like their lightsaber does a lot of damage, but it's only a few dice otherwise. You know, most of the time they're relying on their force powers, which they have to have a turn to turn on, or to activate rather. And you know, you can, as y'all saw, you can just kind of tear through them until they're prepared for you. And then it gets
Until
really
they're
ugly.
And then life is not fun for anyone else.
Yeah.
And then they get all the dark side points.
Yep.
Because they murder you real
Yeah.
good.
Oh yeah. No, she was very much of the dark side. She had worms by the time she died.
Well,
Well,
Dark side
at least
worms.
Vacuum
She
of Space
deserves
got
it.
rid of that for her.
Exactly. Yeah. Didn't have to worry about that.
yeah, oh, that's fair.
So not referring to character points or force points because I want to talk about those specifically. How'd you feel about the system? Just the base, the D6, the exploding dice, the wild die, the dice pool sort of thing. How'd you feel about that?
I have a couple opinions.
Okay.
I thought it wasn't bad.
Okay.
And
Okay.
and that's about the best praise I can give it, which is
Fair.
an unfortunate thing to say. Like it wasn't. There's nothing about it that I felt was detrimental. The character points, again, we'll get to that as we do.
Yes. Yeah.
But-
Because that's a very specific
Yeah.
thing.
I think the part that I had an issue with was you could succeed incredibly at hitting a target, and your damage was still like nothing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Nothing.
Like,
Yeah.
there's not a crit sort of system.
Mm.
Instead, you just have an overwhelming number of hits you can do on enemies sort of system, which
So
I thought was
we'll
kind
get
of
to combat
strange.
as well.
Okay.
But I will say that's how I run combat in that game. It's
Okay.
not supposed to
Okay.
work like that. And I did that mostly because it felt to me um like fights were going too slowly. Because my
Okay. Yeah.
primary experience with running this is running it with Jedi. And a Jedi who can only do one attack every 5 to 10
Hmm.
seconds is ridiculous. Like, Jedi don't do that. They move very, very quickly, and they should be able to move quickly. So,
Yeah, that makes
the
sense.
way it's supposed to work is you say how many actions you're going to take, and then you reduce your dice pool by those actions at the
Ah,
beginning,
okay.
and you can only ever roll that many dice pool.
Oh.
Yeah.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
That is different. That is
Yes.
very different.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So the combat's very, very different, and I guess that probably explains the crit thing because you're not rolling with your full dice pool. I just think it's more
Hmm.
interesting and kind of more cinematic to just be like, yeah, go as many times as you want. Let's just see how it goes.
Yeah.
You know?
Personally, I'm like, that's just cooler.
Yeah, yeah.
I do like the concept, but I do feel like what was
Hmm.
lacking is a sort of like astounding success sort of
Crits.
system.
Yeah, yeah. You
Yeah.
need
Mhm.
crits.
Yeah. And I think that's the only
Yeah.
issue because you could be rolling fantastic even with like a small dice pool, and it should
Mhm.
feel like you could do something really cool.
Yeah.
Instead, I
Mhm.
rolled okay. I rolled great most of the time, and then I was like, cool, my life is fine, except they just literally ignored all the
And you
damage
can do no
constantly every
Didn't
single
take
damage.
time.
anything. Yeah.
Before we get too
Yeah,
far
very
onto
much.
other
That was
thing, I
old.
did want to ask Jared because I
Mhm.
know you're a little more familiar with like
Hmm.
old D&D, and said if you know about this,
Hmm.
obviously I'm not saying you can't answer,
Yeah.
but because the game is so old, do you know when crits like became a thing, like especially in D&D?
So there's always been critical systems in much
Hmm.
older like war combat systems that
Right.
existed prior to and
Mhm.
ended up being in D&D.
Mm.
In original D&D, there wasn't really a crit because you as the player never rolled the dice in early editions.
Interesting.
It
Yeah.
first edition, the DM
Yeah,
rolled
the
all the
DM rolled
dice,
everything.
That's
and
weird as fuck, huh?
so there were crits that existed, but they were resolved by the DM basically in
Mm.
terms of what actually happened.
Huh.
In second edition, so not 2.5 where things really changed. In second edition, which was still in the days of what's called THACO, which is
Mm.
2-hit armor class 0,
Right.
there was a different sort of system created where to become better at what you were doing, you went to a master, and that master taught you how to basically get better at your class.
Okay.
And that was how you leveled up in the system. You
Right.
gained basically experience and then you spent it to train.
Mm.
And in doing that, you could improve how much damage you dealt with specific weapons, which was basically how crits really worked in second edition.
Interesting.
Specific weapons doing criticals and you as the player rolling for criticals really was like 2.5, what is generally considered the advanced second edition Dungeons and Dragons.
Hmm.
And so that's when it really became common for players to roll, get a 20, and have a critical success and whatever that applied to.
Right.
But it didn't have quite the same power until third edition, where that really was powerful. So you're
Okay.
talking like late 90s, mid 90s, basically.
Which makes sense because I've always wondered why in the system in REUP crits exist in skill checks. Like if you're
Hmm.
rolling to try and
Mhm.
avoid something, or rolling to try and accomplish something, it crits do exist. Like if you roll a
Hmm.
certain number, or if your wild die explodes and you get like 5 or 6 sixes, that counts. But nothing happens in combat like that
Hmm.
system of like
Mhm.
a amount of success, a roll result that's so much higher than the difficulty that
Yeah.
it's kind
Mhm.
of laughable. It's just not a thing in combat, and that's always kind of weirded me out. Like
Mhm.
I don't know.
It's just, you did good. Good
Yeah,
job.
it's like cool. You definitely hit them. You hit them so
Yep.
much. Might not have done any damage, but you definitely hit them.
Yeah.
You definitely hit them.
But
Yeah,
you sure hit up.
Good luck.
yeah, yeah.
So, yeah, that is one thing, just combat overall wise, that I think was just,
Mhm.
it just felt wrong.
Mhm.
That's fair. That makes
Um,
sense. That makes sense.
Yeah.
yeah.
Mhm.
Combat beyond that, again, I know we clearly updated some things that was
We
very
definitely
different
did.
because that like declaring actions, reducing dice pools concept feels a little closer to how technically World of Darkness is supposed to work.
Yes.
And I'm fine with that. Like I like the concept, but I kind of like what we did. Gonna be honest.
It slows
Yeah.
everything down so much.
Yeah.
Sorry, Cinn, go ahead.
It felt a lot more empowering too. I was gonna say doing it the way that you did it, where it's like, yeah, and I'm gonna hit again, and I'm gonna hit again.
Yeah.
You know.
Well,
It
and
was a
to
lot
me,
more fun.
One of these is gonna do damage.
Eventually. And to me, it's a nice
Eventually I'm gonna
balance
do something.
because, like, if you just you get one action for free, and then every subsequent action you get negatives. It's not like World of Darkness where the system's sort of built not expecting you to defend. Because in World of Darkness, the whole, like, you can defend, but it's sort of set up that you're not going to be doing that. It's essentially you're standing right in front of someone and you're just hammering at each other, and whoever falls over first wins. Yeah. Or I guess doesn't win. But but like this system is very much set up that you're supposed to be dodging and blocking and parrying and like to me it's if you have an unlimited number of actions, it's just however many dice you have, then you have to start thinking strategically of I could attack 10 times and get it down to where I have one die, but then if somebody hits me I can't do anything. You know, so you have to be a little more strategic about it, which isn't really something you can do if you're declaring actions, because in game, you know, rules is written, you're supposed to declare all your actions, including defensive actions. So if you declare you're doing 3 actions and you want to defend that round, you better only take 2, and you better hope only one person attacks you during that turn, or else you just can't take any actions, which doesn't make any sense. It's not very reactive. Yeah, I don't like that at all. That's why I changed it. But yeah, that's
and
how
I will
it's supposed
also say,
to work.
like, it also felt, regardless of anything, especially on some of the actions where it's like, this person is rolling 13 dice and you're rolling 2 dice to evade. I'm like, why would I ever roll 2 dice to evade? This is never going to happen.
Exactly.
That it felt better to just soak the damage and hope you survive than than try and do anything else.
Yeah.
Especially since your
I took all those things in parry, and I was like, it still would be way better to just try and soak.
just let
it
happen.
You know.
Yeah,
which defeats part of the purpose of like declaring actions and being like, oh, I'm gonna evade this many times, because it's like, if you know you just have a really high stat to just not take damage, why even reduce your dice pool? Just go for attacks.
Yeah.
And that's an issue mechanically where I don't know if they just saw it during playtesting and were like, it's fine, it's whatever. Players are just gonna soak damage because they will. But it really defeats the feeling of being a like super like dexterous Jedi.
Yeah.
I also didn't like that there were so many dodge skills.
Yeah. No, that's fair.
Which
that's fair.
Because there's dodge skills for all of these particular types of weapons, and then there's a dodge skill for these types of weapons, and a dodge skill for these types of weapons, and there's a different one if they're using melee. There's a different one if you're using melee.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
yeah.
And some skills, I was like, I don't think any of these would ever show up because they sound cool, but unless you're doing some very like high level maneuverability of spaceships, you're just never gonna have this.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of skills that were there that I was like, I'm never gonna have a character with this. It's just never gonna happen. And then there were a lot of skills where I was like, I would love acrobatics for my Marluka. It would make a lot of sense for her, but it just never really. The more I looked at it, the more I was like, so this doesn't do anything.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Huh.
It's flavor text. Yeah.
It's cool, but very much not doing anything. So there was a mixture of that kind of across the board in a lot of different areas where I was just like, this is interesting, but I just don't see the utility of it.
Fair. It is.
You know, it's.
Sorry, go ahead.
Go ahead.
Well, I jumped into all your sense. You go ahead.
I was just gonna say, like from a DM perspective, not even just trying to like meta game and have like a perfect character. It's like, I generally like having characters that feel flavorful, and I'll like detriment a character to give them something that makes a lot of sense. Because obviously we've all seen me do that a lot of times because I just like doing that. But even the detrimental stuff or even the flavorful stuff that existed in the system, I was like, I can simulate this by just kind of saying my character can do this,
Yeah.
and
Mhm.
it's the same thing because the skill is now just taking away pips from things that I have to have points into.
Yeah.
And that was painful to look at because it just didn't make me feel like choosing a lesser option for flavor was necessary.
That
The
makes
game's
sense.
already doing it for
Or
me.
viable
Yeah.
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 in certain places.
Did y'all look
Yeah.
much at they're called merits and flaws in World of Darkness. I do not remember what the name for them is in Star Wars because I've never used them.
Something kind of
I didn't.
similar.
Fair.
I took a little look at
Yeah,
them,
I did
and
not.
they are pretty similar to World of Darkness flaws and detriments,
Mhm.
and advantages or whatever. I think they're called advantages and something, whatever.
Makes sense.
They're pretty similar. So you have things that are like, oh, you're bad at you've had an old war wound, or you've a lame limb, or you have this like PTSD or something similar that affects your capacity to be really good in a situation. So it gives you that situational negative for more character points at character generation.
Yeah.
Which is what they are all for. That's the whole point. But I also feel like looking at it, messing with character points as it was, it's like, I don't know, this isn't really doing anything for me. I don't feel like it's necessary. And you can kind of role play these a little bit more than the affliction of whatever you choose is going to be.
Yeah.
So, they were fine.
Fair.
They just weren't doing anything for me, and I historically like taking those options, which is why I was like,
that's like your whole thing. So
I like giving my character terrible disadvantages for one really cool thing I can do. I just want that one really cool thing. Everything else can be terrible.
Yeah.
Exactly. And like I feel like those are really good storytelling with your characters.
Yeah.
You'd be like, yeah, I'm going to give them this because I want them to have this flaw and because I think it helps with their story. Is it to my detriment? Yeah. But it's fine, which is great, except if in the system it's like you did that, you're dead.
Yeah.
Your character's dead now.
Yeah. Like you
Well,
got a
they're
negative
useless.
to like
You're
like dexterity or strength or one of these things that you're going to be using all the time, and it's like,
Yeah.
well, fuck you, actually.
And this is the only thing you needed to live, and now
Yeah.
you're bad at it. I'm sorry.
Exactly.
But it's
And you're like,
fun to
oh.
not be perfect.
Yeah.
I like when that happens.
Yeah, not be perfect is great. Making a character that is unusable.
Yeah, that's
Less-
a
less
very
fun.
different place to be.
Where you're like, oh, this sounds like such a cool thing, and then you
Yeah.
actually start playing the game, and you're like, oh, I can't do
And
anything.
you're like, oh, I can't do shit.
Functionally do not do anything. Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm glad I
well,
made this
look at my
character.
vibes, everyone. I'm dead.
I have
Yep, the
created
vibes are
a corpse.
fantastic, though.
Fantastic. Yeah. I've made it a corpse.
It's
with
like playing, if you're
supreme
playing like a
vibes.
Nosferatu in a vampire game and you find out that the vampire game is only high court intrigue.
Yep.
And that is it. And you're
or,
like, why
or
did
a
I
game
create
that's
a character?
all just like blend in with humans masquerade stuff. Like
Yeah, and you're like,
You're only going to be at like parties the entire time.
Exactly.
Also, the city has no sewer system
None.
whatsoever. Yeah, not even at all.
None,
And no rats. You can't eat anything but people.
And turns out I'm just as a GM thing, you just can't eat animals. You just can't do that.
Yeah,
Sorry.
that's it. Yeah.
Yeah, at that
Guess
point
you're
you're
gonna
just
be
like,
sitting in
I'm
the
gonna
corner in a mask.
play. I'm done.
I'm leaving. Yeah, I'm out of
Yeah.
here. Sorry, guys. This
Which,
was, this was
funnily
really
enough,
interesting.
I did actually have happen once. It wasn't with a Nosferatu, it was with a Toreador. I was playing 5th edition of
V5.
V5, which is
Yes.
terrible.
It has it's a thing. It
and
exists.
that was when I realized that game was not made for long games, because I was playing a social character. And the problem is, losing humanity is supposed to be just kind of part of the game. Like in most Vampire the Masquerade games, like 20th anniversary, like which is what I normally play or normally run. You lose humanity if you want to lose humanity, or if you think that like it's part of the character. It might happen accidentally, but it doesn't generally. In V5, it's very much just like every week or so, or every few nights. Like you have these touchstones, you have these humans that are supposed to like keep you kind of feeling human, and 2 of them just died, and I didn't have the option to do anything with them. And I was like, what? And like you only have 5 dots of humanity, so you got a lot. It's a lot faster. And every time you lose humanity, you start looking more like a corpse. So I was taking massive negatives anytime I tried to do anything social.
Mm-hmm.
And there was nothing I could do about it. like just the further the game went, the more I was like, okay, I've built this character. All of my physical stats suck. You know, my mental stats are okay. And I'm all social, and I'm at like -4 dice to every single roll I'm taking. I can't play this. I'm too ugly to play this character.
Don't look
So
at her.
literally, I was like, okay, I'm gonna leave her. She's gonna go away, and I'm gonna play a fighter because I know that can work. I can be as ugly as I want if I punch people real good. Exactly. She ended up joining the squad. It was great.
Okay. That makes sense. Yeah.
But yeah, so I've run into the whole like, you know, just because the way the game is, you just can't play that character. It's like, okay, I wish I'd have known that before I started the game, but cool.
Yeah.
So, other than those things, Cinn, anything specific about like the system overall that you found icky or great or either way?
No, I just wish I knew how to play.
I'm so sorry. Well, that's a great point to get into character points. This is a great time to talk about how character points work. Which again, probably should have explained before now.
Good. Not well
They're so great.
The one thing that I think is very interesting.
They're even better when they work right.
Yeah, they're great when you actually spend them. They're wonderful. But I think it's really interesting because I haven't seen really any other system ever that makes character points something you can spend as part of the game. You know, I've seen games where like you have to spend experience like on the fly. Like you spend it and you have to like I think Witcher Rules as Written has you can only increase skills that you've used in the last session. Because the idea is you can't like use experience you got fighting a monster to make yourself better at like dancing. That's just not you can't do that. Although the way Witchers fight, yeah, right. Like I want to take this monster fighting experience and up my seduction, and it's like you can't do that. But I've never seen a game that makes
that's why.
Exactly, you're not gay enough is the thing.
Yeah, I think that's a straight person's rule. Because someone killing a bear makes them a lot better at seduction, let me tell you.
Especially in Baldur's Gate, but but like in REUP, it's this whole thing of like, do you want to spend your experience to get better overall, or do you want to save that experience to give you boosts on rolls? And I've never seen that before. I think it's interesting. I love options that give players choices. I've never used that in any other game, and I probably never will because I think it's something that has to be balanced at game creation. But how did y'all feel about character points once you knew how they worked?
I thought they were really interesting. I should also say, Jadis and I had played in a game that had that system in it prior to this.
Did we?
So it was not. Yes, in
right. Yeah.
We're all mad here.
Yeah, I forgot I ran that in D6 Fantasy, which is basically just the
when
same
we
system.
moved to something that actually functioned. Yeah.
Fuck you, Monty Cook. You know what we should do at some point after we finish this, and then we do the games that because after this I want to do games we haven't ever run but really want to, and then after that I want to we just assign each other games. That's what
which is terrifying, and I'm looking forward to it.
After we do that, we should do games we hate. We should run games we cannot stand, and that's going to be the first one. First one I'm going to run is the Cypher system.
And it's going to be GURPS for me.
Oh, God.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. I'm so sorry to everyone. Generic universal role-playing system it is.
Yeah, we'll take our first 3 streams and make characters.
Cool.
Yeah.
So,
I was thinking GURPS too, though.
Oh God,
the worst.
We'll just do it back to back. We'll do one, and then we'll do another GURPS. We'll just be all GURPSed out.
We'll still be making the characters from the first one when we get to the second.
Y'all can trade off when one GM passes out from exhaustion, the other one can take over and run it.
It's really funny because GURPS creation is really not that hard, except for skills. It is the
Yeah.
worst thing
Yeah.
I've ever seen mechanically.
Oh my
Because
god.
this game has a massive list of potential skills you can choose.
Hmm.
Mhm.
And it's kind of confusing because you're like, oh, I've got to add in points and then you can add in specialties on top of that, et
Right.
cetera, et cetera. And you kind of go down the line. But GURPS takes that and says, you have points because everything is based upon like a mass points. You just slot into whatever you want to purchase.
Hmm.
But it says, but the cost for skills has a table, and the table tells you based upon how difficult that skill is to learn and what
What?
reduction in dice you're trying to get to, what you want
It's
in terms of like
terrible.
number. And that's like that table I stared at for like hours. I
That
was like,
is
what
horrific.
is it was basically the same thing that happened when I was trying to figure out super science in Trinity.
Yeah, yeah, that's pretty
That's
bad.
how bad it was just staring
Wow.
at a table going, what math did they who
Wow.
hurt you to do this?
And I get mad
Yeah.
about in World of
Now,
Darkness when freebie points cost different things than experience points.
No.
This is, oh my
right?
god.
Yeah.
Now, Jared, take that
Mhm.
table and imagine you're someone with dyscalculia where the numbers shift.
Oh no.
And that was me.
That
And
does
I-
not oh my god, that is the worst. It is a nightmare
God.
I was
situation.
just like, what's,
Yeah.
what's the point? What's
Yeah.
the
This is
point?
physically impossible for me.
Yep. Yep.
Wow.
Nope.
I'm just gonna give up.
I would too.
That
I'm
point,
gonna
just
be
eat the
honest.
book and move on. Like,
Yeah.
You
There
just
was a
at
lot
that
of
point you're just
frustrated
like, I'm
anger.
just not going to be good at anything. I'm just going to be
yeah,
terrible at
Yeah.
everything. Just use your
I'm
base
gonna make
stats
this really
for
easy.
every single thing that exists, and just
exactly.
don't worry about it. Yeah, don't even try.
Oh my
Mhm.
god.
And I feel like again, this is if we're talking about games that we absolutely hate. Like I dislike GURPS because on its surface it is generic. It is fairly generic. You can make almost anything you want into it. There are characters built into that you can like pick up if you want, but you can make anything. You're just not going to be great. You're very fine of a character, and they have 3 billion books for if you want to play anything that's not nothing.
Yeah.
It's not just general
Yeah.
character. If you want to play fantasy, there's a GURPS fantasy. You want to play GURPS magic, GURPS space, GURPS girl genius, GURPS whatever you're wanting. It exists out there in the universe. GURPS Star Wars, it's all there,
Interesting.
and I hate it because it just hurts.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's so much.
Like I said, we should at some point we should run games we can't stand.
Yeah.
Maybe not 3 of them. Maybe we all just do
Yeah,
one.
no, maybe just one. 'Cause I
But
think I'm
I
going
think
to
that
hate
might-
myself a
yeah.
little too much.
fair. I don't know if I have systems I hate as much as Cypher. Because
I mean, I don't.
I used to
yeah.
really hate the 2d20 system, and then I ran it, and I was like, oh, this isn't that bad. I just had a bad GM. Like,
Yeah,
so
and that also happened.
I did a Fallout game that was
Yeah,
that was the 2d20, and about halfway through, I was like, this is bad. This is so bad. Like, I don't know what's going on. I'm not good at anything. Like, I had a character.
Mhm.
I was playing a medic, and I had a character that had to do brain surgery on someone. And like we were trying so hard.
What?
Yeah. And I was like, okay, I should be able to do this. Like it stats wise, rules as written, this should be something I can do. So we got some nice gear and we got like everything set up, and I still only had 3 d20s. And I was like, but 5 is the max you can roll. Why do I only have 3? And they were like, well, just because and like it ended up like literally somebody was holding a flashlight and another person was like telling me I was doing a good job, and that was what got me the last 2 d20s, and I was like, this is so fucking stupid.
Oh my god.
So yeah, that was I did that, and I was like,
Wow.
this system's awful, and then I ran Dune and was like, oh, this is fine. This is like, it's not incredible, but it works.
No.
So,
And again, we've
does
talked
its
about this
job.
before, which is game systems that use really large variance dice, like d20s,
yeah.
are sometimes it's fine. Most of the time, you're like, I feel like the swings are a little too large.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And I don't know. Having played Daggerheart more recently, which is a 2d12 system,
Mhm.
um, I feel like that was a little more balanced because you're at least a little closer to what you
Fair,
want your dice to
fair.
look like.
And when you have more than one die,
It's
it's a little easier. I feel like it balances a
yeah,
little better, personally.
Mhm.
yeah, and or like if you're doing World of Darkness and you're just in a D10 dice pool system,
Mm,
you kind of know what the bounds are
Mhm.
going to sort of look like.
yeah.
But D20 is very big. The
Yes.
swings end up being really
Yeah.
big,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
and that can suck. I will say, in at least like playing Dune as we have, it's been interesting. I kind of like
Our one
the
session.
our one session so far,
Yeah.
but I kind of like
It's
it. It
been
was
fun.
fun.
Cool.
It was fun.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Mhm.
yeah, I don't know. It's hard to say because there's definitely a mild dislike for using large dice pools like or large dice systems like that where things end up being very varied. Um, which obviously is not the case in this game because we were using d6s as much, but it kind of leads into the talk about like the wild die system as well.
Mhm.
And personally, I didn't have any dislike for wild die. I think that was interesting. It didn't come up as much for us just because we did just I got
Mhm.
ones, but they weren't on my wild die, so it was like, well,
Yeah.
it'll happen when it does. But
Yeah.
I like them. I like the chaos that it can ensue, and I don't like it all the time. So yeah, that's I don't know. Wild dice are interesting. It's I don't have a lot of opinions on it. I
Mhm.
do kind of dislike in systems where the mechanics generally will cause you to feel disempowered
Mm.
just because you roll
Yeah.
terrible, your life sucks, whatever
Mhm.
it is, and you're just having a really bad day. But that also comes from the fact of, playing world not World of Darkness, playing Pathfinder for so long in like early games of like fifth edition where you're playing a character that should be good at something, but you only get one attack per round, and
Yeah.
for those first 5 turns, you just don't hit
Uh-huh.
anything.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
you're
One
just gonna sit there and
my
be like,
barbarian character, there were a couple times where I was like, I'd love to do something in this combat. It'd be so cool if I
yeah,
could do anything, and I can't. So
yeah. And I will say like
Yeah.
that any system that can cause you to do that kind of also hurts. I don't know. It's
Mhm.
a weird minor thing where I'm like, yeah, it's not the end of the world, but I could be better.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, that makes sense.
Mhm.
Any other character point stuff other than I'm so sorry, Sen. I should have explained that better.
If anyone ever needs an in-depth idea of how character points work in the Star Wars REUP system, hit me up. I'm a master now.
Now you got it. You are on it now.
I've got it. No one
Hmm.
will no one will ever know more than I how this works.
There will never be a greater expert. It's like getting the doctor that sewed up a sponge in someone the day before. Like
Mhm.
like you want the doctor that just finished a lawsuit where he lost everything and then
Mhm.
now he's going to be the most careful doctor in the hospital.
He's the
Yeah.
best at it. Yeah.
Like,
He's gonna follow all the steps.
exactly. He's going to triple and double. He's going to count all his tools before and
Oh,
after like
Don't worry, everyone. I am that doctor.
sorry. So, other than character points, how'd y'all feel about force points? Because force points are a lot more limited. They
Mhm.
work a lot longer than I thought they did. To me, doubling all your dice on a single roll makes sense. That's not game breaking.
Mhm.
On a whole turn, on the other hand, but on the other
It
hand,
just
it
happens to do some stuff. It's
it
fine.
did make a little more sense to
Yeah.
me now why you're kind of only ever supposed to have like two
Hmm.
as a
Mhm.
even as a force sensitive character, like there's when it explains using them, it's kind of like
Mhm.
most of the time you need to use them to do some like big heroic thing, and then
Yeah.
you get it back if like it's this big self-sacrificial thing. There's like two
Mhm.
ways you can ever get more, and they don't come up often.
Hmm.
So like How'd you feel about that? About how force points worked and how force sensitive characters got so much more, especially if they were Jedi.
The idea of them were fun.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
The idea of being able to do something super, like, I feel like super cinematic and super heroic for like a turn or whatever to
Mm-hmm.
give you a one up. I think that's cool. I think every character should be able to feel that way,
Mm-hmm.
in a big boss fight or whatever. I don't know if I necessarily think they should be called force points and that Jedi should get a
Mm-hmm.
million of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, I will
Yeah.
say,
But
I reading through the book earlier, one of the things I saw was like there's an optional rule for the force points where
mm,
instead you basically make them scene rewrites. And
Interesting.
I it works kind of like how the I was trying to get the Trinity system
Inspiration,
concept,
I think it is.
inspiration and
Yeah.
Trinity works.
Mm.
And I kind of like that a bit more, where it's just
Fair.
like this is your Hail Mary item. You get to spend it because allows you to do the cool thing that you really want to happen in the scene. You only get the one per adventure basically, but it's like
Mm.
it's the one time you really want something cool to happen. I
Right.
think that would be a better option than just big dice
mhm.
pool.
Yeah. Yeah. And not even necessarily a big
Yeah.
dice pool. Like if you have a dice pool of 2 dice, force point ain't gonna do shit for that. Yeah.
I know.
Like
Yeah.
it's not gonna help you much. So
Yeah.
Gives you
Yeah.
something, but it's very minor.
yeah.
hmm
Yeah. So yeah, that's my opinion. I just feel like
hmm
could be better.
Mm.
Was
Yeah.
interesting, could be better.
Yeah. That's fair.
Interesting concept for
Mm-hmm.
storytelling and for making a player feel powerful,
Mm.
Mm-hmm.
like for having that to have their moment.
Right.
Um, but it does, with the way the mechanics work, it does push you to be like, well, I should play a Jedi because otherwise,
Yeah. Just kind of
you
fucked,
know.
regardless.
I
Yeah.
just get nothing pretty much. I'm
Yeah.
Mhm.
fine.
Well, and
It's fine.
earlier builds, like earlier, like at
Mhm.
character creation, it's a little less game breaking because, like, Jedi are
Yeah.
having to spend so many points in their force stats that it's
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
they're constantly like, okay, well, I have like nothing in sense
Yeah.
or alter or anything like that, so I can't
Mhm.
really be good at anything but that.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, I think them getting more force points is supposed to kind of balance it out, so that where everybody else is spending stuff on their skills and their stats, the Jedi is spending all their
Mm-hmm.
stuff on their force skills. But the problem is, you're supposed to level up pretty quickly in this system. Like, average character points at the end of a session is supposed to be
Mm.
around
Mm-hmm.
15. So, and I think in game,
That's
I think the way that it's built, they're expecting you to spend about
Mhm.
half of that, and the other half you spend.
So
Um,
you're really punching up your skills pretty
Yes,
quickly.
but people don't really do
Mm.
that. They're like, well, I'm not going to be facing a major boss in the first 3 sessions. I'm just throwing this
Mm-hmm.
all into skills or specializations, which are really, really cheap. Like,
I had that on my character sheet. I had a
Yeah.
lot
yeah.
of specializations
And
because they were like
since
super cheap.
Me too.
Yeah, and since like the examples are literally like your gun, like
Mm-hmm.
if you want to be
It
really
was
good at
Mhm.
blasters,
exactly.
just make it so that you don't like using a generic blaster. You're terrible, but your gun, you're a god with. And like if you ever
The
lose that
weapon
weapon, you're fucked. But
the weapon parry system was one of the things that
yeah,
I saw. I was like, so when
Mhm.
it says your weapon parry, it's any sort of parry you're doing
mm,
as long as you have that weapon in your hand. I
yeah,
was like, oh, so
Mhm.
so I can just have a dagger in my hand and I can parry
at all times.
everything that I want.
Mm,
I was like, this is crazy. And it doesn't matter how
Yeah.
strong the weapon is, how like long the weapon is. It doesn't matter if it's a shield. You can parry everything, but
mm.
it's with that one thing,
Someone could have
and it
thrown a
just gives you.
boulder at you and you could parry
Exactly,
it.
with a
And I was
dagger.
like, oh my God, this is great. I mean, technically that's a dodge. I will say anything that's a projectile is gonna have to be a
Yeah,
dodge,
fair.
but I also had dodge, and that was the thing. But
Mm,
yeah, the specialization system is easily underrated, especially early
yeah,
on, and even for
absolutely.
like building characters
Mhm.
later. It was very
Oh yeah,
powerful.
yeah. I've
Yeah.
I've in that
Mhm.
like a really long running game or the year long one.
Hmm.
One of the players really wanted to be good at piloting, but some of the more advanced skills, because there are skills that cost I think like double what it costs to get a normal skill. they wanted some of that, and I was like, okay,
Mhm.
don't do that. Just get that in your ship. Like, you don't have to be good at doing this in any ship. Just be good at your ship. And like by the end, I think they had like 15 dice in their dice pool to like fix their ship specifically.
Nice.
And then of
Sounds
course
about right.
they landed on a space station, and somebody was like, "Well, you're good at fixing ships. Can you fix mine?" They're like, "No, I can't. I have like one dice to that. I can't do that."
No,
Like,
your ship is not my ship.
Yeah.
Hey, you see that ship over there?
Good
I
luck.
know everything about it. Your ship, it might as well be Legos.
I don't even know if that
no
is a
idea.
ship, actually.
Is that a I've only ever seen this ship before. What is that?
Yeah. So yeah, no,
Uh,
that makes sense. That makes sense. Any other force point thoughts other than fuck that Jedi in particular?
And
Fuck
again,
that one in particular.
going with the same thing we've been saying, it's like, it's an interesting concept. Don't think I would ever take it for my own game if I was
Yeah.
implementing things for some system of my own.
Mm.
It's just not doing it for me.
Yeah, it works really well when everyone's a Jedi. And
Yes.
that's
Yeah,
like I can
yeah,
tell you
yeah.
right now.
Moralistic, perfect Jedi.
I've run like the two
Mhm.
long form games I've run in this system. One was one player and they were a Jedi, and the other was another player and they were both force sensitive and then both became Jedi. Worked really really well for them. But yeah, it
Yeah.
didn't. It didn't.
Everyone else,
Yeah, exactly.
If you're playing a little cabbage man,
Not so fun for little Cabbage Man.
and yet he survived
And yet he
He did.
survived.
Mhm.
And yet he persisted.
like a cockroach.
Exactly. Yeah, no, he'll
and
he'll
our
be
characters,
Small,
alive.
me be mighty.
He'll be
were
alive
told
when
to
the
run.
galaxy collapses into a black hole. So,
I think we did the right
Exactly.
thing. We were told to run and we ran,
And you
and
did
we
run.
did.
We did. And part of the running is because going back to that, like if we had stayed to fight, my blaster didn't do shit.
no.
Mm,
Yeah.
I could hit you really well. I could for sure shoot you. But actually doing any damage to you
Yeah.
it ain't happening.
Yeah, especially when you're fighting
Yep.
Jedi that can just like
And we ran.
remove dice from your damage pool.
yeah.
So,
I was just
with
like,
that energy absorption
Stop, I
thing.
only got one.
Exactly.
yeah, and that was the thing. It's like when I saw what was happening with the energy absorption, I'm just like, oh, so it's impossible.
Yeah.
This isn't even
yeah,
like a minor
when you
thing.
blast her
This
in the
is-
face with your flamethrower and it just did nothing.
Because on top of that, they both get to reduce your damage pool, and they also get to just eliminate your
Soak
die
it,
pool,
yeah.
and they get to soak everything on top of that. It's like, oh, I'm not supposed to be here. This is not a situation for me. Got it.
Fair.
Once I saw that, I was like,
No, we went
I'm like,
to
okay.
we clipped through to the boss fight. We were not
Y'all did speed
level
run
up for.
tactics
We
all the way.
yeah,
we
we
need
were
to go
we
back
were
and grind
out of
for
there.
a while.
Yeah.
Yeah. And again,
Um,
that's not to say that that's what everyone's experience would be with the
Mm.
game system, because I
Exactly.
don't think everyone would have that issue, unless their storyteller is just like, you are going to get really fucked up today.
Fuck you.
And I do not feel bad about what's
Yeah.
about to happen.
Yeah.
So mileage will vary for
And
most
because
people.
we went in knowing we were gonna get fucked.
Probably.
yeah.
Yeah. You knew odds were like I was like,
You
be good at
know.
fighting, you're gonna be fighting the whole time.
Yeah.
So,
Exactly.
Which
We were like,
was
okay,
fine
we've
for
got a
us.
one-shot rescue mission. We're rogue oneing it.
exactly.
We're not making it out of this thing.
I still think it's hilarious that
know.
of all the games we've streamed so far, mine are the ones where people die. 'Cause in the World of Darkness
Yeah.
one, I think
Yeah.
Jared, your character died, if I recall correctly. She got her head noped
Yep,
out when,
and then I
when
lost
the hut
an arm.
disappeared. You lost an
Yep.
arm, and then in this last one, both your characters died.
Hey, sometimes that's what happens.
Apparently, I kill people
will
in
say
one
just-
shots. I don't run many one shots,
Yeah.
so apparently this is just what I do.
It was cinematic. so-
exactly.
Exactly. I'm fine with cinematic death. That's just how it goes.
Hmm.
I will say, like, in general, in games, I just don't like killing player characters.
fair,
They can
that's
end up in a worse position than they're going to be.
Yeah.
Hmm.
For our next game, any of us could die. It won't be
Could
my
and
choice,
probably
though.
will.
It will definitely not be
Yeah.
by my choice.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just because
Yeah,
that's
because
kind of
we're
just
just
a
gonna
lot.
be in a disaster.
Yeah.
I'd be surprised if None of us died. Yeah.
It's gonna be
Yeah.
interesting. That's a different story though. But yeah, I mean it's fine. I think cinematically, if I'm looking at this game system, Star
Mhm.
Wars specifically re-up,
Mhm.
other game systems do better to make it feel cinematic.
That's fair.
This was fine. It
Mm.
did a fine job. Perfectly fine, perfectly
Mhm.
acceptable. Nothing to write home about is kind of how I feel.
That's fair. And I mean, a system that's been around that long and has been
Yeah.
like some games I feel like get better the more they're tinkered with, and some games are just tinkered with.
Mhm.
And I feel like
Yeah.
REUP feels tinkered with. It doesn't necessarily feel improved.
Mm-hmm.
Makes
And you
sense.
can tell that because if you look at a module that came out in like 1980, REUP works perfectly. Like you don't have to change anything. There's no editing. You can just directly
Mhm.
run a module that came out in 1980 in a game that came out in I think 2000 or 2016. I think was when REUP came out, if I recall
Okay.
correctly. So like if that's what you're looking for, great.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's definitely not my favorite system, but it is one of my favorite systems. So
Yeah.
yeah.
I think it's interesting. I think our characters were fun. You got a very distinct character regardless of what you were trying to do.
Yes.
Um, sometimes the dice were kind, sometimes the dice were not kind.
Yeah.
It's just the way things
Mhm.
work. And it was fun. And ultimately, that is what you care about in games:
Yeah.
is
That's the
did you
point.
at least enjoy yourself? If you
Fair.
didn't enjoy yourself, I
Exactly.
don't know what we're doing.
Mm.
Because that was oh gods, what was it called? That was specifically when we played with Cypher.
Oh
Was
God.
very
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
issue that we ran into was
Yeah.
like,
Mm.
I don't feel like I'm having fun.
Yeah.
I think we've gone into this spiel before, Sen, and please tell me to shut up if I
Mhm.
have. But it's basically like you have three stats. I think it's
Mhm.
mind, dexter, or it's strength, dexterity, and brain, basically.
Yeah.
Hmm.
And that's all you roll. There are no skills. And each one of those stats is also an expendable currency.
Hmm.
But the problem is, if, for example, you're trying to be a melee character, then you're going to be using your strength.
Hmm.
And the problem is, your strength is also your health bar. So if you take damage, it reduces that strength number. But you also have to spend some of your strength to hit well. So essentially, whatever you're good at, especially if you're a physical character, if you're a mental character, it's a little better because people are attacking you and it's draining your strength, not your
Yeah.
intelligence,
The
not your
thing that,
brain.
yeah, but you probably don't have a massive
But you probably don't
strength.
have much of that. But
Yeah.
if you're a physical character, you're draining your own health. Like essentially,
Yep.
you're
Yeah.
throwing
You're like,
health bar at people.
I'm gonna get 2 hits in here and then I'm
You're
gone.
like yanking a chunk of your health bar off and beating somebody with it, and
Yeah.
it just doesn't. It's so bad.
Wow. Yeah, that doesn't
It's
sound very
so
great.
bad. And the worst thing is, in a
Sounds
lot of systems,
frustrating.
it incredibly, you can kind of fudge it. Like as a GM, you can go,
Mhm.
okay, this is not going well. I'm gonna kind of
Hmm.
doctor some things, and they'll make it work.
Yeah.
DM doesn't get to roll any dice in Cypher.
Yep. It is. You set the
Hmm.
DC players roll,
Yeah.
and it gets
Oh.
harder if they fail.
Yes. And if you're
Oh.
in combat, the player rolls to attack, and
Hmm.
there's a base DC for any enemy, and if
Hmm.
they hit, then they do a certain amount of damage. Then when the NPC attacks the player character, they
Hmm.
roll to defend. And so essentially what ended up happening is nobody could do anything because
Yep.
they couldn't roll high enough to hit these just very basic wolves. And the
Oh
wolf
no.
They tried.
and yet they
They
kept
certainly
rolling high
tried.
enough that the wolves couldn't hurt them either. So
Hmm.
it was the longest combat, and eventually like I
An
think about
impasse. So
6 to 10 turns in, I went, I'm not enjoying this. I don't think y'all are enjoying this. You want to just do a different system? This is so bad.
We were certainly there. It should be
Yeah.
stated
Oh
we were
my
present,
goodness.
but no one was doing anything.
Yeah, like you could
Wow.
feel the frustration just building.
Mhm.
It was so bad.
Well,
Just
and
building.
it just kind of sucked because the longer we were working on it, the longer we were in combat, the more I was like, everything keeps getting harder.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm trying to take the same action, but I physically am doing worse every single
Mhm.
time.
Yeah.
In which case I'm like, what am I even? I'm hoping for the Hail Mary 1 in 200 roll that happens where I get the
Exactly.
perfect scenario and my dice are like,
Mm.
you get to do one thing, to which the enemy can still just say no.
Yeah.
And you're like, what am I doing?
It's
Why
so
am I
bad.
even here?
It's so
Why
bad.
am I here? Why are any of us
That is
here?
the
Why are the wolves
that's,
here? Why are
yeah,
we here?
Exactly.
after a while, I was like, I think we would all give up, right?
Yeah.
We've all tried to tell each
And
other, nothing's happened.
at some point,
Can we
both the
just
heroes
walk
and the
away
wolves
in
are
two
gonna
different
go, this
directions?
isn't gonna work, and I'm just gonna go. I'm gonna leave.
I'm just gonna
I think we
go.
need to
Yeah.
see other people and
And
then just
like
go
this,
different
it
directions.
was the test. I'd never run this system before. I was like, I
Yeah.
just want to see how combat works. I'm gonna put you against like the most basic, weakest enemies, and that was what happened. And I was like, if this is
Yeah.
how this works, how's this gonna work when they're in like a boss fight or something?
Yeah.
So
Again,
it was terrible.
it it had ideas on the surface. It seemed interesting, but I will say Cypher is like a lot of other systems that use a players need to advocate for why they are better in a
Mm,
situation.
yeah,
Which is like Fate, which is also why I'm not a huge advocate for Fate. I think a lot of people like it
I've never
because
played
it
it.
gives the players the feeling that, if I can explain why I should be better in a situation, I can do better. And
Mm,
I love that concept. It's just mechanically, it means
Hmm.
you as the DM, you as the player are constantly kind of doing this sort of, how do I build up the quote unquote tags for this current scenario
yeah,
to figure out who's getting their advantage versus someone else? And
Yeah.
it just kind of it adds so much stress to my mental block for things that already exist of
mm,
like running a combat where I'm like, I
fair.
don't I don't know if I want to even do anything in this
Well, and it can end
situation.
up where every role
Yeah.
becomes a conversation, and
Yes.
like again in concept, I can see why somebody would be like, yeah, okay, this way it's less. You're just rolling, and I hit or I didn't, and you're kind of
Hmm.
engaged. But the problem is you're not engaged. You're not thinking about like the story. You're not thinking about why you're fighting. You're
Yeah.
thinking about I want to do better. So
Yeah. I have mentally checked out and yet I am still here.
exactly. Like this is homework at this point. Like
Yeah, right.
You made me do math. I'm not here for this, and yet
yeah,
I'm still here.
You made me do math and I didn't even get anything out of it. How dare
exactly. I
you?
didn't enjoy it. So fuck you.
Yeah. Uh,
Cool.
Again, which is to say, for this system, not exactly the same problem,
Hmm.
but it is a persistent issue that exists in other game systems that we've all seen,
Yes.
where they tried something cool, it didn't quite work,
Hmm.
and we became the victims of their choice for their mechanics.
Yes. Yeah. And like I said, I did believe it or not, and you may not, but I used the same character sheet for every Jedi you fought. There was
I
one
believe that.
like mid-level Jedi that I used for everything. And basically the difference was I went, okay, these are the experienced Jedi, these are the ones who like just came from Coruscant, and these are the ones that have maybe fought a battle or two but don't know much about it. And depending on like how much their instincts were, I just used what was on the character sheet. So like the ones that y'all fought, including the one in the beginning that you just punched to death, could
Her fault.
potentially
She
have
just wasn't
been,
prepared.
yeah, like could have been just as deadly as the Cathar in the last section. She just
Papa was
wasn't.
so
She
proud.
just wasn't ready. Like she didn't have time to turn anything on. She didn't even have on danger sense. She's like, I'm here to talk to a group of raisins and this failed Jedi. Like this is not going to be a problem, and it was a problem. And then
We became a
It was
problem
a
very
big
quickly.
problem.
exactly. And then like once y'all
We
got
made
on
ourselves a
the
problem.
ship, the ones that were, taking Pawpaw and and
Hmm.
Kronk, I can't remember his name. Uh, prisoner.
Oh no, I forgot my character.
Kaz?
Kaz, there we go.
Is it
Kaz.
Kaz?
Yeah.
Kaz.
They were
Papa
like
never
these
forgets.
people aren't fighting, it'll be fine. And then, by the time you took all them out, then like the alarms had gone off and they were ready for you. But
Yeah.
even then, you took out that, slightly less prepared Jedi really easily. When the
I
one
mean,
in
and then
front
there
of
was
you
the
was
like,
like a god. So,
I mean, when I was like, okay, well, I have like 3 million attacks right now. I might as well just be like, oh, your apprentice over there.
Yeah.
Like one of you's going down really fast
That
here.
is the
and
coldest shit
You can
ever.
take
Is
as
somebody
many
puts
as
up
It really was.
like
I was-
I want somebody to do that in D&D where somebody casts shield and the person just looks at them and kills every other party member. It's just like,
Just-
okay.
Okay.
Cash field, the person just goes disintegrate, but on their friend next to them instead.
Yeah.
And
All
just
right.
kind of
Yeah.
shrug.
I can't hit you. I can hit everybody else.
Yeah, I would so do that though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Running a villain, 100%.
I've done that.
While making eye contact, just
Oh
like
yeah, 100%.
destroying
With eye
everyone
contact,
they're trying to
everything.
protect.
Mhm. Yeah.
Sure, why not?
I did
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
I did that against a cleric once.
Oh god.
It was like the cleric was like oh well, you can't get me with your wisdom, the wisdom saves, and I'm up here, I've got this big strong AC and everything, and I was like, that's
Mhm.
fine, I'm just gonna kill your friends.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah.
gonna take them out.
Yeah.
They can't do nothing to me.
It's like, cool.
Go heal that corpse.
You get to sit here and watch all of them die.
Yeah.
Go heal that corpse.
Yeah. It is funny when
How many
players
diamonds
like
you got?
it is funny when players like are used to setting up for combat in a certain way. It's like in the last time we ran World of Darkness, they were fighting these Inquisitors and they were all in this like warehouse. And they cut like the player characters kind of lined up in the front of this place where all the Inquisitors are coming in. And one of them has this ability where he's like mostly water. So like you have to hit him, like you have to do a lot of damage before it can actually harm him at all.
Yeah.
But he was standing in front of another player.
Yeah.
So every time like the first time he got shot, he was just like, "Oh, well, I'm going to do this thing." And it didn't damage him at all. And I'm like, "Okay. It's going to hit the guy behind you though."
It was very cool though.
Cuz you're made of water. He was like, "Oh."
Yeah, super cinematic.
Yeah,
It's
and
super cool.
like it did
I'm
less
super
damage.
happy
Like
for
I
you.
definitely reduced the damage.
Yeah.
So I'm like, it went through like a 3 feet of water
Yeah.
more or less. But like still, it's a bullet.
Yeah.
And there's someone behind you. But yeah, I always
fine.
think it's funny when you can tell somebody's like played a certain type of game, and then they're playing a different type of game,
Yeah.
and they're all like, okay, this is what you do when you get into combat. It's like that's not what you do when you get into combat in this game.
I will say this is just a
That's
general
what you do when
thing.
you get into combat with this other person, not with me.
And again, I love this particular player we're talking about.
Oh
to be honest,
yeah,
again,
yeah,
there's
they're
know who
wonderful.
this is, which is perfectly fine.
I love all of them.
He's fantastic.
Oh,
and-
yeah.
and I love him.
Yeah,
To death.
the cleric character, love up. Never have I ever hated a character for a player for doing a thing that frustrated me as a DM.
Oh yeah.
Because that just meant
yeah.
that they were
Mhm,
being
mhm.
fun. If you're ever getting to that point where you're like seeing it as you two fighting,
Yeah.
that's the problem.
Well, you're
That's
Mhm.
when you're like,
God, like you're gonna win. Like you can't.
Exactly. God will always win this fight.
Yeah,
Don't
will
worry
always-
about
yeah,
it.
There was
exactly.
somebody I was talking to a while back that was like, well, I think I could like something like, I think I could beat you in like this game I want. And I'm like, bro, I could literally have a lightning bolt come out of the sky and kill you, and you couldn't do anything. I can just
What do you
say
mean?
that
I'm
happens.
the
I
What do
don't
you
want
mean?
to.
You
Like,
can't. This is D&D
that's
is not the fight against the
stupid.
DM. That's not
yeah,
how this
like
goes.
because
No.
like me as a DM
I'm
wanting to
just telling
beat
the
you
story.
is stupid because I can just win. You wanting to beat me
Yeah.
is
Right.
ridiculous because I'm the entire universe. like this is
Exactly.
and, like,
No
what does
one
it
wins
matter
in
if
that
you-
situation?
Also, it's the whole like, what do you get out of trying to win in D&D? Like, I still don't understand that myself.
Their video games
Just-
exist.
just
Like, go
tell a
play
good
those.
story.
Yeah.
Go play a video
if
game.
you want
You'll
a
have so much more fun.
Definitive, I won this game.
Yeah.
Don't play tabletop.
Exactly.
That's not
It is
how that
not the right
works.
place to be.
Exactly. But yeah, as far as being okay with players outsmarting me, if I wasn't okay with that, I'd never run a game for you,
I
Jared.
love it.
So,
Oh, yeah.
like,
Exactly.
you outsmart me
I love
constantly.
it.
so-
I love it when players in my games are just like, I'm going to do this thing,
I'm
and
gonna
I'm
grab
like,
some more water, you know,
oh, I
disappear.
love,
And I'm like,
I love
well,
that
fuck
actually.
it, man. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, do it.
Exactly.
100%.
I'm like, go for
I,
it.
I hope the dice work
Exactly.
out because I don't know if that's
Mhm.
going to be the case. Quintessentially,
Yeah.
I will say, like, early on when I was running games, Bye, Jadis. It's nice seeing you. Early on,
said
I
I'll be
ran
right back.
I know. I ran a game in a system called Tephra,
I
which,
exist.
talking about game systems that I have a love-hate relationship for, Tephra is definitely one of them. I would say if I had to run a game system that I personally don't like, and I had to run a second one that was not GURPS, if like, Cinn, you want to take GURPS, it's going to be Tephra.
Interesting.
And
I
I
don't wanna
ran
take
2
GURPS.
campaigns in that.
It's like, no, take this away from me. Don't make me do it.
I don't
Unless you have some other game system, you're like,
love so
I'd rather be like, I fucking hate this
No.
game.
Oh my
I'm gonna,
God.
I need to
Yeah.
show off why it's so bad. Tephra is a game system that on its surface is very interesting, but it does not handle almost any situations well, and it is stylized as a steampunk game system.
Okay.
But the problem is that it also has magic, but it's trying to be steampunk. It was clear that they like got halfway through development, but also were like, but I want a magic thing in here too. And so they created Faith, which is just magic. It's just magic.
So Blades in the Dark, but bad is what I'm hearing.
Okay, no, that's a good way of putting it. The steampunk flavoring wise, it's kind of cool. Like you can have a character that's more mech based and be in that, and like a lot of cool concepts in it that I thought were really interesting. The issue is it has the same problem that, coming back to what we're talking about right now, Star Wars REUP has, which is you make an attack, the other person defends. And they automatically get a defense. No like reducing
like
dice, etc. Automatically defense. If you hit, you roll damage, they roll soak. So even if you hit, you might still do no damage.
Might do no damage. Yeah.
And that feeling in a system where you only get one action per turn sucks.
Yeah.
Oh, that would be so frustrating. Yeah.
That's ultimately the main issue with it as a game system, is just flavor-wise doesn't quite hit the mark. It leans a little too fantasy compared to the steampunk elements, because that's clearly what they were doing when they designed it. And it really sucks when you just try anything and you just fail. You just fail.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're just bad. That's what it feels like.
Fucking hell.
And but on the other side of like characters doing things I wasn't prepared for, in a second game, I ran it with a kind of mix because I didn't want to lean. I was like, look, if this already has magic, let me just go full mage. So I just stole mage from World of Darkness.
Nice. You've done that more than once, I think.
Yeah, absolutely. I love stealing things from World of Darkness.
That D&D game we did, I was like, this is made. Like, I knew nothing about 5e, just for context, and knew nothing about 5e going in. And I was like, okay, I'm kind of pick this up. And then there was like we'd find these like artifacts that worked in very specific ways, and it was like, seems really familiar.
You're like, wait a
this
second.
is Mage the Ascension. This is wait a second. This isn't D&D.
Hey, I will steal whatever I feel like using, and I
cool shit.
I feel no shame.
It worked very well. You stole werewolf too, and that worked even better. So
see, it. I made a whole thing, and don't worry, all yours will exist too whenever I get around to it. Because someone decided,
I got bit by a werewolf and was like, can I just not succeed my saving throw? Because being a werewolf sounds awesome.
And the answer was, yeah, you actually can. In my version, because I feel like I can make that choice as a DM and be like, yeah, sure, do what you want.
Being a werewolf is fun.
But I ran this World of Darkness / Tephra game, and in it specifically, they had gone through the hedge. Because I wanted to do some stuff with Fae, and because the world was having like a weird mismatch sort of connection where it was a whole bunch of magic into a into a very steampunk setting where things were not supposed to be happening the way they were. There was an evil organization basically of mages, like powerful lich mages, left-hand path mages from World of Darkness, because I love the system. Basically, they tried to become vampires but didn't quite get there, so they didn't make it to Tremere. Instead, they just ended up immortal, but with like a really strong grasp on magic and slowly dying.
Fun.
Like you do. And the players were trying to track down these artifacts, a different sort of artifact that they were using to bridge themselves into this world. and took them into the hedge, and there was a whole trial happening because I played it up as like a high fairy court, and one of my players was like, look, I'm a fairly stealthy character. They were playing a mind and forget what their secondary sphere was for magic. They had a second sphere, but they were predominantly mind. They were like, I want to try and out stealth the like stealth fae that is running this particular phase of this trial, who was basically like an actual like kitsune as a fae. And she was like, this is what I want to do. And the trial was a trial of touch, which is you need to be able to go to this thing, take this object, and no one needs to be able to see that you did it. And so obviously with magic in the mage system, you have lots of options about how you do it.
Too many options, one might say.
Is kind of the thing. And I was like, look, you have, this is going to be hard. Whatever you're going to do is going to be very difficult regardless, just because they're all fae and they're here and having fun, but they feel very strongly about the rules of this game because they have laid out what the like requirement is here. It's like, you have to be able to get there. You have to touch this thing and no one can see you do it. So whatever it is, you need to be very good. And so I made her roll 4 checks. And I was like, if you roll 4 checks and they all succeed, there is no issue here. You have succeeded in literally the crowd, the attendants, and everyone around you have not seen you do this.
Jesus.
And she critted on every single one of the rolls.
Oh my God.
I was like, wow. I don't know. The luck here is crazy because she had to roll. We rolled d20s for these instead of the normal 12s that are in the system because 12s were feeling very weird. So we rolled d20s. She rolled 4 20s in a row in front of all of us.
Oh my gosh.
And I was like, this is never going to happen again.
No.
And I'm all here for it.
No.
Wow.
So that was one of the times where I was like,
they're so much fun.
Yeah, when
It's
shit like
like-
that happens.
and like, it was very likely, even with her normal rolls, she was probably going to succeed because she was very good at, again, mind magic. Plus, she was playing like a snake woman with like huge amounts of things into stealth. It was a lot of fun. And yeah, she 100% won that trial.
Oh my God.
Unnecessary, but fantastic.
Very cool.
Love when things happen like that. It was great. That was, again, hate the system, but the players were fantastic.
Yeah, I've been there. Cool.
So yeah.
So we've gotten a little bit off track, but not I think
Yeah,
not unpleasantly so. So I guess
I think a normal amount for us.
yeah, for us, yes. Yeah, that's fair. So I guess the only other question, I think Jared, you've kind of sort of answered this, but you know, if it doesn't mean you can't answer it again if you don't want to, or if you do want to.
Perfect.
You can answer it, but only if you really don't want to answer it.
Oh no.
Sorry, that came out very weird. If and this is probably something I'll ask in the next game too, because I like playing themed games. I like games with built-in worlds. I think generally, it's why I don't like 5e hacks for Star Wars or Lord of the Rings or stuff like that.
Yeah.
I think generally, if you build a system for a setting, it's gonna present that setting a little better, personally. So my kind of final, and if we want to blather on for 2 hours after this, I'm good with that. But my final sort of wrap up for this like review portion is, if either of y'all were running a Star Wars game, would you use this system?
I would say yes.
Okay.
With an asterisk, because I always
I'll say with
something.
addendums.
Yeah, there will always, and again, this is just me as a person, that not like the system is bad.
Yeah.
I think they have done the work to make it possible to play whatever you want in a whatever you want Star Wars game. And I think you're not going to find that in any other system.
Fair.
Specifically.
Yeah.
Like if you go for a very rules light system where it like you can play whatever you want because it just really doesn't matter. Everything is going to be flavor text anyways, and you have a couple of stats and that's all you're rolling for anyways, then sure, whatever. You could play it in something else. But I mean, in a crunched game system that has a lot of rules specifically for playing a Star Wars character in a Star Wars universe with Star Wars rules, it felt like we were using rules that make sense for Star Wars.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, that's my opinion. And I don't think I'd want to jump over to like GURPS to remake Star Wars because Just
or
so we all
Stars
have
Without
an
Number, which
instinct
I've
over,
also run.
or
I've
which
also run Star
again,
Wars in. But
which has
Mhm.
stuff, but it's not perfect.
no,
Yeah.
it's
Mhm.
not.
Which Stars Without Numbers has a lot of problems. We can get
Yes.
into systems that have a lot of interesting ideas, but
Yeah.
fail on many of them to all of them.
We need to
And that
do a
Mhm.
stream that's literally just us talking about the amount of times that we've been running a game and gone to look for something, and it just hasn't been there. Times that games have failed us.
oh god, Stars Without Number is I think the highest version of that though.
Yeah, yeah, because it's
Just
so good
because,
sometimes, and then sometimes it's the worst thing ever.
Mhm.
and again, for me, the issue with Stars is really just it sucks playing a psionic character.
Yeah.
And again, we're getting off topic, but it sucks because of how many things just make no sense.
Hmm.
You're just like, I'm
Mhm.
sorry, you mean my magic just doesn't work because you said it doesn't work? Oh,
Yeah.
cool.
You mean like
Well,
half the thing I
well,
wanted this just to be able to do? I can't do that.
I'm
Great.
glad that
Thanks.
this was literally my life, and I made this character to do this one thing, and it just doesn't do it.
Yeah.
Cool. Thank you,
It's fun.
Love that. I
game.
love
So
that for
fun.
you.
Yeah. It also doesn't help that again, this is a side content for people that have a knowledge about it. When I was introduced to Stars Without Numbers, and again, we're off topic a little bit. And sorry, Sin, because this is your time as well. Um, the first time I
we'll
came
give Sid time to
across
talk.
the the first time I came across it was a stream that was being kind of put on YouTube, and it had a good premise for Stars Without Numbers, but it was very gritty Star Traveler system. It very much leaned into very low psionics.
Interesting.
They very much did not let their psionic character pretty much do anything with their psionics because
Fun.
it kind of happens. And they were playing a telepath version, and the telepath gets nothing. For those that know Stars Without Numbers,
Yeah.
you can mildly read someone's thoughts once in a
If you
while
ask nicely.
if you try, and then when you try and delve deeper, you just get slapped in the face every time. That's
Yeah,
basically your
pretty
entire
much.
life. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, and it never gets better
yeah,
than
it
that,
sounds like
really.
the perfect character to play. Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
so
so
fun.
that's the problem, and that's your basic ability. Like your cool thing you do is just like very baby
Mhm.
amounts, and then you can try and delve deeper. So it is like detect thoughts
That's
with
a
like a
lovely
little
Beach
bit
Capri
more,
song.
but it just sucks. It just sucks.
Yeah, it's not
So
Look
great.
at
that
that. Look at
system,
that image.
yeah, that game seemed really cool on the surface. It was very community driven because they were doing this whole thing where the community was helping to vote for the uh, changes to the galaxy that were
Oh,
happening
that's cool.
every single session. So
Mm.
they were doing the galaxy
Mhm.
portion
You're back.
with their group. And I thought that was really interesting. They had a whole like
Yeah.
separate stream where they were showing like, how the different factions are moving things around,
Mm.
and that was cool. But watching the gameplay was constantly
Mhm.
watching players feel like they couldn't do the thing their character was supposed to do.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
the more I've played Stars Without Numbers, the more I'm like, oh no, that's actually
That
kind
is
of
just
what this
kind of
game
how it
system
works.
is.
Yeah.
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 Um,
It's just
so
it's so weird how a game can be so well developed because like if you want a random
Mhm.
generation table for almost anything in any tabletop game, like not even just
mhm,
for sci-fi stuff,
Mhm.
Stars Without Number probably has something and it's probably pretty damn good.
yeah,
But also like it's one of the worst games to play. Like
yeah,
it has it's like D&D but more frustrating somehow. So
Oh.
yeah. No, I would
yeah,
agree.
yeah, it's sad. Really cool worlds. If you want to like randomly
Mhm.
generate a sector of
Hmm.
space with like a dozen or so planets that all feel really interesting and different, and like
Hmm.
they all have different problems, and each one of them has adventure hooks.
Mhm.
Like if you want to just randomly generate in about an afternoon an
Hmm.
entire little solar system where everything has a
Mhm.
story hook and everything feels really interesting and alive, and you could drop any player anywhere and immediately have a full story. It's perfect.
Hmm.
But then you have to play the game. And
Yeah.
Gotcha.
that's less
So
fun.
maybe So use it to build the world, and then use a different.
And
system
I've done
to play the
that
game.
multiple
Yeah.
times, honestly, where I've been like, oh, I need a new planet in Star Wars. I'm gonna go make it in Stars Without Number, and
Again,
then you just
as
don't
a
use
concept.
anything
Oh,
else.
it froze again.
I'm so sorry.
Well, we can still hear you, so that's what matters.
Yeah, it's just the storm's just picking up. That's why.
And the
Yeah.
art's pretty.
That's
The
all
art's
right. At
gorgeous.
least,
Yeah, it is.
well, thank you. At least it's not frozen on me looking like the Godfather.
You looked like somebody had just walked in with a gun. Like you're just...
Yeah.
Ah, Mr. Bond, I see. Yes.
Yes, exactly.
I see you.
Oh,
Exactly.
Banjo, where were you? I needed you.
Banjo walked in with a gun.
If someone
What is happening here? So yeah, that's its own thing. Again, off to the
Got there,
side.
bud.
I will say this system re-up, I think it would work really well for Star Wars.
Fair.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
So Cinn, same question.
Yes, I agree.
Okay, cool.
I'll
Any-
expand more, but yes,
I would
agree.
say, would you like to maybe say more? Like, it'd be cool. You don't have to.
Nope,
but-
that's it.
Okay,
I
cool.
agree.
You know what? And we're done. We're gonna move on. We'll be back in 2 weeks. Goodbye.
And we're done. All right, we'll see you guys.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I think it does very well for Star Wars, and like the parts, and it sets up the system that if you wanted to tweak things to make it a little better for players that weren't Jedi, you can.
Mhm.
All of the, it's all there.
Yeah.
And I think that the system really works well for Star Wars. So
Mhm.
yeah, I'd play it again.
Cool. Yeah.
I would be a Jedi this time,
Yeah, I did.
That
place
makes
it.
sense.
just because I want
I
to throw.
would suggest
I want to
that.
throw something with the Force.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
then you get your dark side points immediately.
As long as you just throw it,
Oh, I would be
at
the
a
most-
random.
Evil.
or see, the problem is in our universe, if you picked up a cabbage, you'd get dark side points.
Exactly.
I
They're
love.
people, they have
It's kind of
feelings.
like it's like the ethics of like The Good Place, where they're like, yeah, you're trying to do this for the
Exactly.
environment, and it's like, but yeah, but did
Actually,
you
you're
know
making
that
it
this
worse.
Actually, so it's like
Yeah.
you're making it worse.
But
And
did
she's
you
just like,
think about
okay, so
the
actually
fact
we're
that
all dark side.
Yeah, the transportation of this thing, however, contributed greenhouse
Exactly.
gases, and the
Yeah.
person that was there also had cancer, and you were not contributing to their cancer
Yeah.
treatment. Just like-
No, actually,
Then I
so
I
you're
love.
actually Satan. Did you know that?
Exactly. I love the idea that you just make a character who's force sensitive, play them however you wanted until they picked up 6 dark side points, and then became a GM NPC, and then make another character and do it again, and then make another character and
Yep.
do it again.
Yep.
Just be like,
Yep.
I'm going to play a dark side character. I just have to change every 6 actions because then it becomes
Yes.
a GM NPC.
I'm going to yes.
you make a character in like the 5 seconds, you pull out a new character sheet, it's like, okay, they're ready, and then you immediately turn and just like force lightning an entire village, and you're like, okay,
Yeah.
this can happen
Yeah.
now.
And
I've
here's
got
the
it this time. I've got it.
You're just
figured it out,
essentially
everybody.
you have like all these characters like, okay, there's that one gone, and then I'm gonna do this, and then there's this one gone, and then I'm gonna do this one, and then
So this one's going to force pull a starship onto the planet and just
kill
everyone.
everything. Yeah, you just need to
Oh.
make
I'd
like
sneeze and get a dark side point.
you need to make an alien that has like 47 children, and then you just keep playing the children.
Yeah,
Go down
Go
the
down
line.
the line.
children.
It's the curse of the dark side this family always has. It's just been passed from one to the next.
They've just been cursed.
I'm the
They've been cursed
47th
that any
son of the
action they
47th
do
son.
ends up doing something terrible to someone else. Like anything that they do, it's the worst kind of butterfly effect.
Oh yeah, definitely.
They're like, I saved this person, and then a bus full of orphans blows up. I mean, like something.
It's always equal opposite.
They can't do
It's
it.
just-
Yeah.
Remind me to never
Oh,
run another
God.
Star Wars game for you, Cinn. You frighten me.
It's fine.
Do you mean?
Oh my
The
god.
thing is, yeah, it would
No,
be like that. Like, oh,
yeah.
you saved all these people and you prevented them from getting killed. And then it's just like we
Uh-huh.
pan over to the side where it's like, because you didn't do this one thing, a whole
Yeah.
village got burned down.
Yeah. It's like, well...
Listen, history is written by the winners.
More importantly, it's written by the living, and they're dead. So,
They're dead now.
Exactly.
so they
Oh,
don't get
I
to
would
write shit.
never, ever be able to play a full Jedi. It'd have to be Grey Jedi or bust.
Mm,
Like,
yeah,
there's no
definitely.
way.
Definitely.
You mean you don't
Because
want to
a
be the
lot of
most
the Force
purest of
powers are
pure
just
paladin
fun.
that's ever lived? The most paladin-y of paladin
The
Jedis?
most little baby ever.
Yeah.
Like
Most of it.
special, perfect little child.
Yeah, just be like, but maybe we should just not. And then it'd be like, everyone just shoot this person right now. Take them
Kill
out.
them.
Kill them. Kill them so I can play someone else, please.
Exactly. Kill me. I
Can't do
can't
this.
take this any longer.
I can't do this anymore. I need to force lightning.
Just go over to the corner and just like...
Yeah.
It's like, no one was over there. I don't get any dark side points.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly. I had to get
Actually,
it
I
out.
do think with Force Lightning, you take dark side points even if you're not hitting anyone.
Regardless, yeah,
I
I
think
know.
just using
Yeah.
it gives you dark
Yeah,
side points.
using it.
Which is
just
what
like,
if I'm
who
using it to, like-
decided lightning was evil?
Lucas,
Here's the thing.
apparently.
Here's the
Yeah,
thing, I'm
he's
like, what if
elementalist.
you used your Force Lightning to like cook a meal for a village that's starving?
You still cooked it with
Yeah.
hatred. So
Apparently.
it still counts.
All storms are actually just hatred storms.
I mean, there are Force Storm is a power
Yeah.
in the book,
Mhm.
and
it
is dark
is.
side.
Yeah,
so-
but no, any thunderstorm is
Yes.
actually
It's just
it's
Maybe
actually
Lucas
it was a
really
spirit
it was a
of the-
cloud
of the
that turned to
Sith.
the
It
dark
has-
side.
Turns
I
out
just
God is
imagine
a
it's all
Sith.
Force
and-
ghosts, but it's all Sith that have just
Exactly.
ascended.
That's where the
Yeah.
Sith
Storm
Force
clouds.
ghosts go. Is they,
Gotcha,
they go to
yeah.
the sky and they make
become
thunderstorms.
It all makes sense.
Exactly.
It all
It all
makes
makes
sense.
Oh my
Oh,
god.
Also, I mean,
gosh.
Storm in X-Men, she's a Sith Lord, right?
Yes, 100%.
Yes.
100%.
100%.
We need
yeah.
to tell Scott this if we ever play that again. So,
That's this week.
it's supposed to be, but
It is.
we'll see.
It's supposed to be this week. Yeah. Storm is a Sith Lord, but she does not get any of the bad Sith Lord
No,
things
no, of
because
course
she will
not.
never be ugly because she's Storm.
She's too hot
Yeah.
for that.
She's beautiful
Yeah,
and
she just
perfect.
Too
It
hot
comes
for
like
Force
a-
corruption.
Apparently,
She
the
could
most
do
powerful character
anything.
she can break into other universes at this point. And I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
how
I mean,
interesting.
I dig it. I'm down.
Yeah.
Yeah. She can do whatever she wants. And I'll let her.
The power of gay.
Yeah.
Cool. Well,
She
yeah,
was- she was like one of my first crushes.
Oh, that's so fair. That's so fair. She's so pretty.
Yeah. She's so perfect.
Yeah. Yeah, that's all I had about the game, at least. So
This is great.
Yeah.
I had a great time
My
with
camera just
Star Wars
won't
REUP.
work right now.
that's okay.
That's fine.
That's
It's
okay.
fine. It's fine.
It just keeps saying it's unavailable. It's like, okay, it's right here.
What
but
is
okay.
camera? Camera, no camera.
well.
I can see it. It's staring right at me with a little green light, but okay.
But yeah, I had a great time.
Glad.
It's a cool
Me
system.
too.
I think it worked really well for Star Wars.
It did.
We have
for
our
sure.
our things,
Yes. As
but
always.
again, I feel
As
like of the issues, the storyteller is going to be able to write themselves around the problems that they don't like in the
Yeah,
system,
exactly.
like is the case for all the game systems we've
For
talked about.
every game.
Exactly.
Yeah. Anybody who
Exactly.
is married to anything rules as written is probably not gonna run great games. So,
Yeah.
and
Or
I've been
they're
there.
just-
I've been that before, where I'm just like, well, but
Well,
that's what
they-
it says in the rule book. So,
Either that, or their players will hate them, or
Uh,
you'll run into things that I've run into in Pathfinder, where it's just like, I don't know, the rules don't cover that.
exactly.
No one wrote a rule for that one specific
Yup.
instance that you just described. So I don't know.
It's why
You're
it
making a
actually
rule
can't happen
right
because
now.
it's not reality anymore.
Exactly.
So sorry, can't do that.
I'm sorry, reality
don't
cannot function with you doing that.
Uh,
It's why most games have like a thing in the beginning that's like, look, if there's not a rule for this, or if you don't like the rule for this, 90% of stuff is just roll a die, add a stat and a skill, and just see.
Exactly.
You know, and I feel like the difference is, especially with like Pathfinder, is it's like, no, there's a rule for everything, and if there isn't a rule for everything, fuck you. You know? If it doesn't
kinda.
exist, go die, please.
though
If there's no
I
rule
will say,
for it, go to GURP and then die.
don't, please don't. No one should hurt themselves. Though I will say in Pathfinder, there's a
Don't.
huge
Yes,
section
do
in
not.
the Dungeon Master's Guide that does talk about how if you're playing a game and you're running it and the rules are getting in the way,
Mm.
jettison the rules.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah.
That is really nice.
That's nice.
Which 5e has that, especially in the most recent version. The
Similar.
2024 version
Yeah.
also has the same thing. But yeah,
Mhm.
Pathfinder has it in the original DMG. It was just like, look, we got a rule for everything. But if looking up rules or spending your time looking up rules, or the players are getting frustrated because they're in combat forever, just jettison the rule and do what you feel like is cool at the moment.
Exactly.
And I'm like, great.
Rule of cool.
Exactly. I actually read an article this is like when I was first getting into GMing. I'd been doing Werewolf for like a month when I read this. And it was somebody talking about, and they called it Rule Zero, of like how almost every book is like, look, you don't like the rule, toss the rule. Doesn't matter. And the entire article was this guy just fucking crashing out about like, well, why did you write rules? What is the point of rules? Why do you even have rules in this book if you told me to ignore the rules? I'll just ignore the rules then. And I'm like,
and it's just like,
I would hate to be your player.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's a player that rules lawyers.
Exactly. Yeah.
And you go, actually, I'm God. So
exactly. No. Why does this work like that? 'Cause I said so. Deal with it.
Because this is a collaborative game and we're all trying to have fun, bud.
Yeah. And I'm glad you're enjoying looking up rules every 2 seconds. I'm not. So
I've been there, memorized
I
entire rule books for that. I'm good with being like, no, I'm done.
I've done games for rules lawyers that were great, where anytime I was like, I don't remember how this works, they'd be like, this is how it works. You don't have to do it, but this is how it works in the book. And like they can be so helpful if they use their powers for good. But they can be
if they use their powers for good, they are an essential player of your team.
Otherwise, like,
the number of times
like,
in
I don't
separate
know how this
Pathfinder
works. And
games
they're like, here you go.
where that's happened for me is the same thing, where I'm just like, okay, collectively, does anyone remember how this rule works? Because I can look it up, but my laptop wants to die already. So maybe collective knowledge says this is how it works. Awesome, fantastic.
Yep. We're just gonna go with that.
Then this is how it works.
Yep.
What it is.
I didn't realize I thought that was part of the wall. And then you reached back and grabbed it. That just broke my head for a second. I was just like, what did you just do?
What was that?
That just turned three-dimensional right there.
Screen right behind me, and I just like reaching into it and like taking
into
things
items.
Out of the screen.
That was like one of those magic eye posters. That just broke my brain.
That's what happens when you have a flat wall behind you, but it's actually 3 dimensions. It's kind of crazy.
Yeah.
It doesn't help that it's all green and like the edge of the wall is kind of blurred out right now.
Yeah.
So it's like the corner's like actually right here on the wall.
Yeah.
It's right in this section.
What the
fuck? It just feels like it's flat across.
You're just in a non-Euclidean space, is what I'm hearing.
No, that does not make sense. No, you've broken it.
Because it genuinely looks like the corner's where the door is.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
It's not at all, but it does feel like it.
I hate this. At least if you ever run a horror game, you can literally freak us out by just going and standing in the corner. It'll just break both of us.
Just like, whoa, that's weird. Let's not do that again.
No.
Just DM from the corner and we'll just be like, the whole time.
Just be like, make it stop, make it make sense.
I'll just bring the microphone with me too, so I can just like stand in the corner with like the lights off, so it's just a little bit of light somewhere in the room vaguely, and I'll just be like,
that works.
Hello, everyone. Glad to have you here.
There's a guy on YouTube who puts his mic in a coffee mug, and that's how he does stuff.
It's one way to do it.
That could work.
Close micing is fun. It's fantastic. Makes your voice sound really close to everyone, and also a little too intimate.
Yes. Yeah. Sometimes far too intimate, but.
Sometimes it gets a little more than weird ASMR voice.
Yeah. Sometimes it's like, I can hear you inside my brain, and I don't like it.
Yeah.
It's like,
I don't think that part of my brain is supposed to receive audio signals. So could you not do that?
Yeah, that's honestly why I can't do like ASMR where people talk.
Yeah.
That's not the kind of ASMR I can do. Because I'm just like, why does it sound like you're whispering in my ear? I am not soothed. You're right behind me, aren't you?
I get it that works for some people, but I'm like, no. I'm good with like kinetic sand sounds. Perfect. That's 100% for me. Everything else, I'm like, I don't like popping noises. They don't do it for me. Crinkly noises also don't do it for
No.
me. Yeah, there's a lot of
The
things that's
only
like
sound
not
one
mine.
that I can do is watching this guy clean rugs.
Interesting.
It's
Hmm.
it's weird because you're just like, oh look. For me, I don't know what this is, but my ASMR, it's always like I have to watch something get done. Like that's what's soothing
Mm-hmm.
to me.
Huh.
Like I watched this one guy who just fixes old Game Boys and stuff. No sound.
Cool. Mm-hmm.
Interesting.
I just watch him find an old like Nintendo and fix
It
it.
just fixes
It's
it. Cool.
subreddit, oddly satisfying,
Yeah.
Yeah.
which is
Yeah.
Yeah,
perfect. So nice.
exactly. Or take a really terrible, ugly, dirty rug, and now it's not. Now it's nice and clean.
Mm-hmm. It's very satisfying to watch.
Mhm.
We're
That
really
does sound
off
very
here. I
soothing.
don't know how we
I
got
don't know
here.
if we're tired
Where are
or
we?
So
maybe
off
we're not
topic.
tired enough.
Um,
I don't know.
We're just
Because
we're just
yeah,
wandering through topics
we've
now.
gone through everything I wanted to go over.
so
So I'm good to either ramble till y'all are done or not. Just whatever y'all want to do.
We can, in fact, end if we need to. If not, we're gonna just probably end up back on video games again,
Oh
like we
yeah,
started this
yeah.
whole
No,
thing with.
we'll start talking about random shit.
yeah, and mine keeps freezing on everything. So
Fair,
Yay!
you guys are
fair.
turning vaguely into robots for me.
Oh,
So
cool. Fancy.
Okay, well then
yeah.
before everything dies, in 2 weeks we'll be back on this
What are
regardless.
we
And we'll be
doing next
doing
time,
Yes.
we're gonna
Jared?
do a game system that's on me because I'm a terrible person. I am going to not be running a game, but we
Yes.
are going to be playing a game. We are going
You've broken the entire format of this
Yeah, I
thing.
have.
And I came up with this whole idea and you went, "What if I broke it on the second game I did?"
Yeah, second
What if
one.
we
Yep.
didn't?
So, I
We're
love
talking about
that.
our favorite systems, and one of my favorite systems is Fiasco. It's one of the oldest ones that I've ever played. Not the oldest, but one of. It is one of the few game systems where you make characters and start playing them pretty much immediately. So we will not take a lot of time to make
Right.
characters. Characters will be very vibes for the most part. There are no
Love it.
stats at all. The dice that exist are not for us to really roll once we get through character generation. There will be a little bit of rolling them at the very start, and that's going to be it. And then from
Interesting.
there, it is all role play the entire
Wow.
rest of the game. And it will be a fiasco because, unfortunately for everyone, Fiasco is designed like a classic movie. That is the whole point. It is played in scenes, and you and other players are basically having conversations about the things you're trying to accomplish
Mm.
as you're in this slowly train rolling through the station sort of scenario where it is about to
Yeah.
plow through a group of children, basically. Like
Fun.
that is Fiasco. You know the
That's
thing
so
is
many
going to
dark side
happen.
points.
Always, yeah. You know the bad thing is going to happen. You just don't know what it will look like necessarily and how bad it's going to be. Your characters are also
Yeah.
feeding into what is about to occur. Um, Now, the thing
Nice.
is, between now and then, I'll be putting together a small thing for us as a small group to be like,
Mhm.
hey, which of these play sets, because that's what they're called, play sets,
Gotcha.
do we want to play? Like, which one would be the most fun for us? And
Mm.
then just generally to play on stream. Because I don't have to prepare anything else, basically,
Like I said, just
which is
break
the
everything.
cool
Just
part
completely
about this.
ignore the format of this
Yeah,
thing.
I get to be, this is the most chill, which is again the whole point of like, let's say you want to run a game for friends, you want to run a
Mm.
game for people. None of you have any GM experience though. Fiasco is the game you should jump to. It doesn't require
Nice.
any sort of experience on how to run a game. It has the most rules of rules light that you can really get. Everything is available online if you don't want to actually have to buy any books. So the books are probably in your local game store as well.
Cool.
They're tiny. You can read them in like easily 10 minutes. They're very short. There's not a lot of additional like addendums and rules. People can't really make things up. And it's just you having a fun time with the people around you. And the play sets are vast.
Interesting.
You can run almost anything. I've done superheroes. I've done Titanic, old prospector towns, which was hilarious and actually a lot of fun to run. I've done a couple of different superhero ones as well. Like you could technically do a Star Trek scene in that as
Mhm.
well. Like there's nothing stopping you on anything.
Just doing anything.
But there are play sets for everything. The whole point being a terrible thing is going to happen in the middle, and then you're going to resolve it afterwards, because this is basically a movie. And the fun part is you can do it with like friends and then like have snacks and watch a movie with it as well. Fiasco is about a terrible adventure you're all going on where some of you may end up dying.
Cool.
Or you survive and everything ends up great. For those that are wondering, before the next time that we show up, we may end up with a fourth person for just this
I
fiasco.
was about to ask if...
We'll see if they're available, but obviously this is Scott, who's Cinn, and
as the three of us know, sometimes that works and sometimes that doesn't.
Which is like, again, the kind of case for it. But Fiasco also will not take us too long, because it doesn't take long to play. Because unfortunately, there's not a lot of dice rolls in it, which means you just kind of play.
You just do it.
And we will be in the middle of it fairly quickly. Cool. But yeah, that is what we're going to do. We're going to do Fiasco. I'm breaking all the rules of the stream very early on.
We're not the three-part thing is maybe not happening. If it does, it'll all just be playing, and the last one will be review. There's another person. You're not actually the GM at all. What the fuck?
I know, I'm not the GM at all. I broke everything that started this whole thing. But I like to show off game systems that people may have heard about, may not have. There are a couple of really good streams that exist of people playing Fiasco.
It sounds
recently,
super cool.
Brennan Lee Mulligan did one with some people, he's well known as a DM on the internet, obviously, for doing Dropout and Roll20 or Dimension 20. But like personally, Will Wheaton did a show called Tabletop back on Geek and Sundry, where he and a couple of people, as well as people who'd done like filming as well as just book writing and actors, did a small game of Fiasco that is wonderful. And it's just a lot of fun. And because you don't have die rolls, terrible things happen to Will Wheaton regardless. And it still happens even without die rolls.
Fun.
But that is, I would say, the first time I really saw it getting played. I played it before that, but watching it be played by people who were just already actor trained was fantastic. Cool. And we'll be maybe having as much fun. It's just going to be a fun game, and who knows what's going to happen. We'll die or not die. I don't know.
It sounds like a really cool system.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah,
I'm gonna have to make sure I have my stuff ready in case this only takes one.
Well, we'll do a review regardless. Like we're doing the debrief at the end. So you have at least 4 weeks.
To be one.
I'll have
here's what I'm.
Yeah,
here's what I'm expecting will happen in the amount of time, so we don't overburden ourselves. When we start, we'll probably do what is the initial setup. We'll talk about the play set, about the game system and what it is, where the resources are, and kind of show off the easy stuff that's online, the stuff that you could pay for, the stuff that you don't have to pay for, or you don't ever have to pay for if you don't want to, just for people that want to play it. And then we'll talk about the playset itself that we're going to do, what the cool things in there, and some of the mechanics, including what's called the twist, which is basically what's called the tilt table, which is where the midpoint of the fiasco occurs, where the bad things really happen, and we add an element that makes things really ramp up. So there's a little bit of randomization that can occur in it, but it's a lot of fun. And then we'll just launch straight into building our relationships between our characters, establishing some locations, building up some items that are just available for us to use as props within our piece. Because think of it like we are basically people on a stage is the best way to put it. And we are playing through scenes within a play towards the end. As things get ramped up, it's the best way to think of it, because it's very much coded either like a screenplay or like a stage production. It's the best way to think of it. And then we'll just start playing. And in that first one, we'll probably get through at least the first half, which is up through the tilt table. And then we may jump into it again in the next session, jumping in with the second half if we're like already pretty far in and we don't want to like burn ourselves out. If we get to that really quickly, then we'll just finish it up. You'll get to see the whole epilogue in one session, and the next one we'll talk about what Fiasco is like. So there will be at least 2 sessions regardless.
That does actually bring up an interesting point, which I hadn't thought about, but probably is something I should be doing, is saying like where you can get the games we're doing. because that had not occurred to me
yeah.
at all until you just said it. So as far as that goes for Star Wars REUP, it's free online. Google Star Wars REUP.
Yeah.
You can
Yay!
just get it. It's a fan-made
Nice.
thing. Doesn't cost anything. So if you want it, grab it. There's also, if you Google Star Wars D6 supplements, you can literally get everything that was ever released for this game. You can get
Nice.
modules, you can get expansions, you can get stuff where they took the Star Wars like Pathfinder stuff and transferred it to this system. It's great. So like all this shit's free. Thank you for bringing
Which
it
is
up because
nice.
it had not occurred
Yeah.
to me that I should probably be like, if you want to play this, here's how you do it.
No,
I just
so.
because there's a lot of game systems that unfortunately you have to spend money to play them.
Yes. Yeah. Most of them, honestly.
Yeah.
Most of them, especially really obscure
Yeah.
ones.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Despite the fact that scribed and PDF copy exist, most of the time you do still have to buy them. So,
Yeah.
There's not a lot of freeways, or the freeways exist if you like to sail the high seas a little bit.
put on your little pirate hats,
A little pirate hat, you'll
which we'll be doing
find.
tomorrow. So,
Which is not to say the same one, but it'll be very, very similar.
Yes.
It'll be fine. None of us are pirates.
Yeah.
I don't know what you're
Yeah,
talking
it's all
about.
good. It'll all.
Yeah.
There's
It's fine.
stuff I have planned for tomorrow. I'm like, this is either gonna break everyone or it's gonna be fine. So we'll see.
I think it'll be
great.
fine.
You guys have fun.
It's
Just
one of
gonna
those
be
where I had
me
to
and
pull
my
up
best
everyone's
friend.
consent form and be like, are they okay with this? Cool. Yeah, it's fine. It's great.
It's fine.
So
Hey, we have some varied consent stuff in ours.
Yes,
Which is
yeah,
fine. We're a very
yeah.
different, very interesting group. Hey, I'm all for it, but my character is sort of a trickster, so that's gonna be fun.
yeah, it'll be great.
You're doing great.
Cool.
Okay, that's it. That's all I had.
Yeah, I think that's it. Send any parting words, just because I can't see you, so I can't tell if you want to say anything.
No, I'm good.
Okay. Don't float away.
Very important.
One way or
Yes,
another,
Dwayne,
we'll
but
talk
be safe.
Tuesday. I don't know what we'll be doing, but we'll see.
Yes. We'll be doing something.
We'll be doing something. Something will happen on Tuesday, one way or another.
Yes.
Otherwise, we'll be back in 2 weeks, and we'll do Fiasco.
All right.
Bye.
Bye, everyone.
Okay.